What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shacknews Twitch channel. It is Monday, May the 6th, 2019. We're here with the newest episode of the wide world of electronic sports. I'm your occasional replacement fill-in, Co-Blake, Fake Blake, and I'd like to introduce the real stars of the show here for the WWES, my boys, Asif and Real Blake.
I heard Black Steve.
What's up, guys? Welcome. Sorry,
Welcome.
my phone
Welcome
is
to the
off
most important. It's the most important show on Twitch.
It's our show.
It's our show. It's the wide world of electronic sports. And yeah, we have our first string Blake back. We had a replacement Blake the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he did good though.
Yeah, I knew he would. You know, I think Chris is a great understudy and has a lot of potential. And one day, he might be his own Blake.
Yeah, I think you get him a headband. He might. He's got a beard. He's almost there.
He's there. How do you feel about a mohawk, Chris?
I'm not against the idea as long as I can pair it with a rat tail.
Oh hell yeah!
Sure, I'm into it. That's even more 80s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, damn, that sounds fucking rad. That sounds like you being Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I'm wondering why I don't do that now. You've made me question my whole existence.
Damn.
That's right.
He'll do that, yo. Krabs has this ability to make you question your haircut, unlike anyone I've ever met.
Right?
It's just
his haircut's so free.
In a world where you could have a nice haircut, I don't understand why you wouldn't have something dope. Look what Patrick Swayze showed us through the years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was always on point. It probably is still on point in the casket right now.
Yeah, so all you Minecraft viewers, I'm sorry, today's not Minecraft Day, but it's been great having you here. Krabs was streaming Minecraft the past few streams.
I don't have that.
That shit was out of control.
He was showing off. They're showing off Struggle Bus Mountain over there on the community server. It was fun.
We learned a lot about economics and human physiology and Swedish words for things.
Yeah, so I've turned off the chat because I have yet to see Avengers Endgame. I refuse to have it spoiled for me.
I got a spoiler for you. It made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wowie. Didn't see that coming.
So far, I don't know how many streams we've done since then, but it's been pretty chill in the chat. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't even seen Infinity War, so I don't really care if it gets spoiled. So I'll let you know what they're saying.
Thank you.
That's the Shaq mod mentality right there.
Yeah, I mean, once your soul is gone, what's the point, right?
You're like, I've clicked on not work safe links on the chatty. Seeing an Avengers Endgame, spoiler, this is the least of my problems these days. Well, I don't think it'll happen, man. It's been pretty chill in the chat. Really cool people hanging out watching Minecraft.
That's right. I caught a little bit of the Minecraft stuff you guys did here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like you were having fun. As much fun as you can have without me around. But I'm back now. I'm here. So I'll be here until at least E3, so.
Oh man. We're probably gonna have a special episode or something.
Yeah.
Hyping up the tournament or something at E3.
That's right. Are we ready? I guess maybe we should. We're not quite ready to reveal all the details. But soon,
yeah, sadly, right? I'm like waiting on some paperwork that would let me say blah 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 this day at this time and you blah blah here. You can't do any of that right now. But maybe next week.
Is that because Kirk Cameron won't sign the papers that says he'll be on the show?
Basically,
we've been having a lot of arguments about bananas and where they come from. So
what?
Kirk's not ready. Kirk Cameron. You never
I think Kirk knows about the history of bananas and why they were made.
intelligent design.
They were
versus
clearly designed for us to hold
evolution.
upside down.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I
they
don't know,
missed
man.
their telephones.
I must have missed that.
He was on growing
Never
pains,
seen-
man.
You've never seen the Kirk Cameron argues for intelligent design because of bananas?
Yeah, he
This
says
God
because the
made
creases
banana.
in bananas line up perfectly to the crease in your knuckles, it must have been designed for humans to eat. And also, it has a pull top like a can of Coke naturally. So, obviously, our
Does that
greater
mean
designer,
Coca-Cola was also intelligently designed.
it could be.
I mean, technically, modern day bananas are GMOs. Like they've been genetically modified through breeding.
So
It's
you're
like
saying
your
G-
opinion, man.
Seeds.
You're saying genetically modified organisms are intelligent design? You saying that people are creators?
People are
crazy.
intelligent, and we designed the modern.
I don't know.
banana.
We're not that smart.
I mean, we're smart enough to breed the seeds out of a banana, so we don't get the diarrheas from eating them.
Yeah.
I mean,
That seems-
we've got some intelligence. It's relative.
If
I mean,
that's
we're
the
not.
if that's the bar, then yeah, we're intelligent.
I mean, like, you know, we're not quite up there at the top where singularity is, but we're not, you know, single cell organisms either. So,
Mm. Yeah. That's fair. No, it's not. It's not necessarily because of Kirk Cameron. To answer your question, Krabs.
I thought that was going to be our big celebrity get.
No, it's Mark Rebier. He's going to be there.
Oh, nice. I thought you
Yeah,
just
the-
said you couldn't say out loud.
No, he's not. That's not the thing.
Oh,
Look at that, PJ Ravi. No, it's more like venue and
mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Wait, are you trying to book out the Staples Center for Lube Daddy?
I wish.
That'd be a show.
Blake, were you at E3 when Bobby Kotick did that? But he had Eminem.
yes. Oh my God. With Rihanna.
He put all the media right next to the pyrotechnics, so we were like deaf. It was pretty great.
Yeah. That was
Eminem came out barely. That was ecstasy riddled Eminem at that point. He had a guy with him who was rapping.
I thought that was like the rehab tour Eminem with like Rihanna, and then like Jane's Addiction played like 2 songs, and Tony Hawk came out, and Tony Hawk was like, "Oh hey, I was gonna skate in a half pipe above the stadium, but like I'm not. So here's my game." And it was like, "Well, why did you tell us that, Tony Hawk?"
That was for Ride, right?
Yeah, the beginning
Yeah.
of the end.
Yeah, that
feel
was right
like-
before the end of that series.
I feel like Tony wouldn't want to be like completely untruthful with us. Like,
I think he felt bad that he couldn't deliver what he wanted to.
mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, ignorance is bliss. You know, if we had not known that Tony Hawk was disappointing us, he wouldn't have disappointed us as much.
But he felt probably contractually obligated to be on stage, first of all.
Yeah.
But I think given that he wanted to be like, this would have been cooler. You know? I think that's just Tony Hawk being Tony Hawk. And I appreciate it.
I know how T Hawk gets.
But then they also had like some crazy pole dancer. Remember that? She was
Yeah,
like
I was
50 feet in the
very,
air.
very worried for them.
Mm-hmm.
That was yeah, that was not safe.
And he did
But they
this
were
during
okay.
the NBA Finals.
Is
Yeah.
the Shacknews booth at E3 gonna have a pole dancer?
No. Not that I know of. No.
I mean, are you gonna be there?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know that he'd have to get a really sturdy pole. It'd have to be mounted to the ceiling and the floor, probably.
That's a very high ceiling at the LA convention.
Yeah, so you're looking at an extra. So the longer the pole is, the thicker it probably needs to be, and at a certain point, the old me, the pole's got to be so thick that I might not have big enough hands to get a grip on it.
Oh man.
Not that I have small hands. It's just there's a lot of man here, and there's only so much pole.
What if we built a structure?
That's my
that was
autobiography title, by the way.
But what if we built a structure maybe that was like reinforced?
I mean, even then, you probably still have to like build a harness to hold me to the pole. I don't know. I've never really pole danced before, but I've seen YouTube videos about it.
Well, that's like basically like practicing.
Mm-hmm. I'm an armchair expert.
Okay.
So esports, eh?
Electronic sports. That is what we're here for. That is
you guys
why...
watch anything this weekend?
Oh man, I slept a lot this weekend. I'll tell you, my last show was on Friday. Saturday, I was hardly human. Yesterday, I couldn't move. So, that was kind of my weekend. So I missed a lot of stuff. But I have seen. I did see a little bit of what you mean. I saw the crowning achievement of this last weekend though, which was definitely that Australian CS:GO tournament's audience.
Mm-hmm.
That is by far the best thing that happened in electronic sports this weekend.
Should we take a look at what you're referring to?
Yeah, sure. We can lead with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Let's just get right into it because I feel
Did
like
you see Call of Duty had a response?
No, did they tweet about this?
Still watching out.
Yeah, they're like CS:GO wankers, CS:GO are
from the
wankers.
stairs or down in the
Wow,
courtyard position.
wankers, huh?
I'm watching
All
it,
sorts
but
of
Breezy
name
with the
calling on.
repeat. You'll
But
find
yeah, apparently they just
something which he'll
the
welcome.
entire they were filming an Overwatch tournament next door at this esports arena in Australia, right?
Still watching out to
And
see.
what were they?
Oh
what
yeah,
were
yeah,
they
yeah.
doing?
Sorry, yeah,
From
sorry.
the stairs
Yeah,
or
yeah.
down in the
I was thinking
courtyard position. I'm
Something
watching
else.
it, but
I was
Breezy
thinking
with
of
the
Call
repeat.
of Duty
You'll find
people. They were in England.
Okay, yeah. So this is going on in Australia. So as the CS:GO tournament is going on, all of the crowd start shouting "fuck you, Overwatch" over and over again, just to let the folks next door know how they feel about them. Which I think is a nice sort of summary of what a lot of my problems with electronic sports is the fact that it wants to be a big boy, but there's so much childishness. Whether we're talking about like 13-year-old champions,
It's the fandom.
like yeah,
The fandom,
Like-
it lends to it, some of the fandom is very immature, and then some of the fandom's just super young.
yeah.
So, and then I think Twitch chat feeds into this, So like, yeah, I don't
But
know.
look at High Five Kid from like a couple weeks ago at that Overwatch tournament.
Mhm.
Like he puts his hand up to high five the competitors, the people playing against his team, and then moves his hand out of the way as he come by. That's hilarious of a diss as it is. Like that's kind of what we're talking about here.
But
This
we
is
gave him an
just-
award. He was like our esports thing of the week or something.
He was a champion. It was
Yeah, he was
because
the
it's
champion
not-
of the week. I
because
got
it's
a new
not as-
champion for this week, by the way.
it's not as petty as chanting "fuck you, Overwatch," or it's at least just on that line of
Yeah.
if he was an adult, it would have been sad. I will
Mhm.
say that. But the fact that he's like just some 13-year-old, probably nerdy kid who's hyped over Overwatch, it's you can let it go. You can be like, all right, that's funny. You get an award, kid.
It's like boys will be boys, but then
Almost.
once you're like 40, stop being like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Once you got hair in new places and your voice drops,
I'm
the
telling
time
you,
for childish things
it
is
creates
over.
a double standard though. That when you're a kid, you're treated this way. So That plus the anonymity of Twitch chat plus just being funny. leads
Yeah,
to that.
I think the idea is that, you know, maturity happens over time, and you reach a certain age, and society expects you to have a certain level of maturity. And now that's a little more. It's a lot more of a gray area now, thanks to, I don't know what. It's hard to say what causes it, but having the anonymity of the internet for a few generations has definitely not helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So
no, Pete's making some points. There's a lot of unprofessional behavior in esports, like player handles. And he said fanboys are gonna fanboy. But I agree. There's like a very destructive behavior that occurs in esports where, like, for my esport to do well, yours has to fail, and I just don't think that's the case.
yeah,
Like there's
it's really,
there's room for both.
you can
You
watch
guys
Star
act like
Wars and you can
Philadelphia
watch Star
Eagles
Trek.
fans don't exist.
No, I don't. I
It's
know
just-
very well
it's,
how they.
it's the same thing. If you want the big sports atmosphere in your esports, you got to take the douchebags along with it. The loudest, the most obnoxious, it always attracts a certain type, and it's that way in all big sports. Soccer fans kill referees and all sorts of horrible stuff. Basketball fans will throw drinks at run our test. Football fans will throw batteries. Esports
Why you gotta
fans
bring
will...
up the batteries?
Because that's something they do. It's either that or booing Santa Claus or whatever else.
I think the batteries were Cleveland. I'm not sure.
Well, I've seen it happen in a few games I've watched that team play.
Yeah,
They tried
the
hitting Randy Barber with one. Yeah, the Eagles.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think you got a lot of people agreeing with you in chat, Krabs.
Yeah, there's a lot of people get overly passionate. A lot. There's definitely issues with just maturity and good sportsmanship, even in regular
But
sports.
I do think that there's something about the demographic difference in esports fans versus regular sports fans. They're younger.
I don't think
Especially,
the
like-
maturity level is different between a 21-year-old esports fan and your typical drunk Eagles fan that's 55.
No, I'm talking like Smash fans. You know, like that are like 10. You know, I think that there are younger fans in certain games. I'm not saying that CS:GO and soccer don't have similar demographics. They probably do, especially in Australia. You know, like just look at this crowd. Those dudes are definitely they're dudes. They're not kids. And no, what you're saying is right. But I just think throwing a crab on stage, right? Has a, is a little
Throwing
different.
it at someone's face. They threw it at. Didn't someone get a crab thrown in their face? Wasn't that it?
Krabs and I went over this pretty intensely a few weeks ago. There's still debate as to if it actually was thrown at him or
I think it's a work.
he thinks that it was a work. He thinks it was fake news, basically. I
It's
think
an
it was,
inside job.
yeah, he thinks it was an inside job. That not that it was fake, but that it was. I guess the better term would be staged, right?
Well, what did we spend the whole show talking about that day was that stupid crab and not the achievements in electronic sports.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. But he won.
Yeah, well, I didn't remember that he won.
So
He
I remember
did.
that he took a crab in the mouth.
He didn't get. Oh my god.
did we get
But
an interview
anyway.
with the crab? That's what Hemtroll wants to know.
We did not. I think it was dead. There
Sad.
you go. But yeah, did Team Liquid win this? Did they go on to win this, Krabs? It seems like they did.
You can tell me either way. I believe you.
Let's say they did.
We could skip to the end of this tape. I don't even know if this is the final. This is grand final. Yeah. Looks like Team Liquid might be winning this.
It seemed like they did. I vaguely remember this.
Hi, Exit Lava.
Hemtroll makes really good points. We would know if the crab was dead if we interviewed it.
Well, I
Yeah.
believe the official government narrative that you had told me during this was that someone had pre-cooked the crab and
Yeah, it
then
was
threw it. It was a steamed crab. Most crabs are not going to survive the steaming process, at least not the crabs that I know.
Liquid
Dude,
one.
Pete knows.
This kid is selling it hard. I have to go back and see that.
That guy flexing.
That dude was representing. He's our hero of the week in esports.
I got a champion of the week. This guy's the hero of the week. Yeah, that guy's great.
That guy's screaming. Is he hulking out? Was he smaller a few minutes ago?
Let's rewind. He's here for the final. We'll go back to the final moments of the round. He's a fan in the audience, yeah.
That guy is yeah, you gotta gift that. It's definitely a giftable.
It's hard to
moment.
scroll directly to it in this thing because it's a 12-hour video.
It's okay. Don't worry about that for now. But I think overall, this question of like, how do you improve there's gotta, like, how come there aren't clauses about sportsmanlike conduct in these contracts these people have to sign? How come they don't encourage their audiences to be
The same reason that pro sports leagues hire people that have previously beaten their girlfriends or committed other crimes or are not savory. You want the best possible people because people only care about winning.
Well, I think at least they put on a face of trying to make an effort towards some of these things I'm talking about, though.
I don't
Even
think
if
so,
they're not
man.
sincere?
Overwatch League is like rife with really bad people.
I'm
like,
talking in regular sports. I'm talking like things like the NFL or the NBA. Like you have,
dude, there's video.
Yeah.
There's video of Kareem Hunt kicking a girl in their head in Cleveland, and the Browns signed him.
It does not matter if you are good and can play.
Yeah.
All will be forgiven.
Yeah, I'm just making Crab's point for you.
At least everything short of Ray Caruth.
Yeah, it seems like.
I mean, there is a line, but that's a pretty hard line.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here with the guys win. Let's see if we get the kid here. The crowd's going nuts. Where's the kid?
Because aggression is rewarded, according to Novad.
Nope. Pete making some good points in chat. It's worth noting that Astralis and Navi weren't there, and FaZe had a stand-in player. But it's still a win for Team Liquid. And that wasn't the only win that this esports team had this weekend.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Liquid.
Do you want to switch it? Did you get any of that Smash footage, Chris?
We might have a little bit of Smash footage.
Because
from the
they had a
VGBC Thunder.
No, it was the video game boot camp.
Thunder.
Yep, Thunder Gaming. Mm-hmm. So, Thunder Smash was held in Long Beach this weekend. $28,000 prize pool. First place. What do you think first place got?
$11.
$20,000. And this was interesting because it had some locals in there. You pulled up Armada Prodigy versus Gimmer. Gimmer actually works for Video Game Boot Camp. I think he owns the place. So he entered the competition just to see how he could do. Playing as Mr. Game & Watch, which is just a delight to see in tournament play. But the real story is this kid, Prodigy. 14 years old, and I think he placed like top 4 or top 6 or something. Pretty crazy. And kind of unknown. I guess he's done decent in some local tournaments in SoCal. The thing that you might notice about him, he's playing as Mario. And how often have we talked about Mario in the past few months when we're talking about Smash esports, you know?
This is the first I've heard of this Mario guy.
Yeah, I know.
But I feel I feel like we've had conversations about Mario
Mm-hmm.
in Smash, and like I think you were saying you felt like Mario had to be like a more solid character than a lot of them
Just
because
because he's
it's a
like
Nintendo
their
game.
yeah, because
Yeah,
he's their flagship character. He should be good, but
yeah,
a lot of the pros said that he was nerfed relative to Smash Four. He was like higher tier in Smash Four, and then with 1.0, he was being like kind of rated as mid tier. It seems like after some of these balance changes that have happened with 3.0 and 2.0, that he might. I think that there's a way to play with him where he's still pretty good in competitive play. He's an all-around player. I don't like we talked about the 3.0 changes a few weeks ago. Projectiles in general were nerfed, so that hurt Mario. But they did. I don't think they did any buffs to him either. But I think it's really just a thing where if you've been playing with Mario for a while, which I have, he was one of my favorite characters to play with. um, yeah, I had been playing with Mario as not my main, but you know everyone picks him up from time
yeah.
to time. I think you played as him when we were at GDC, Blake.
Oh yeah,
Um,
totally.
but yeah, it's like he's a great character. It was cool to see someone that could compete with a Star Wolf or with like Olimar, you know, because those
Yeah,
are definitely considered high tier. And to see Mario kind of in the same league was cool. Um, but yeah, this was actually a really entertaining tournament. Some people weren't there, so you didn't have all the top players in the world that could make it. So that kind of left the door open for kid like this kid right here, Prodigy. Um, Super down to earth dude. They interviewed him before the top 8, I think, and he was playing for one of his friends who had passed away in NorCal. So it was cool to see him placed so highly. It's crazy to look at. These guys have like notes and stuff that they look at in between rounds. Because when you think about it, like how many different matchups are there in this game? You know, like at least 73 for each character. So it's and you know there.
my God.
I think we found this meta too, where it really seems like these pros are not just playing as one character. They have like their main, they have like a backup, and then they have like a third. Because they
Yeah,
just know there's sometimes we saw it in this tournament with DeBuzz, who normally mains Olimar. He lost, I think, his first game in a set, and he instantly switched to Palutena, and I was like, "What the hell? This guy like never switches." But like when they're on tilt, they kind of do that sometimes. Uh, Other times you just like you really feel like you can't beat a certain character, you know. But
well,
yeah,
if
it's been cool to see this the meta keep changing.
yeah, it also changes your predictability to the other to your opponent.
Hmm.
You know, if they've been watching you or beating the crap out of you with one character, you're having someone else that you can pull out that is a totally different play style means they can't just watch the tape and figure out how to beat you.
That's true, and I don't think there's much tape on DeBuzz playing as Palutena.
Oh
There
no
you
no
go.
no no!
So you got
But
this is
yeah,
the final, right, Chris?
This is the final. DeBuzz
Yeah.
versus MVD.
Okay, so we had talked about. I don't know if you were on the show or not, but I think Chris and I had talked about how Snake had kind of been moving up in the meta. We'd seen some pro players succeeding very well with him. Um, I think MVD to get to this point. This is the grand final. In the winners final, he had to play Salem in a Snake versus Snake Ditto matchup, and that was kind of crazy because you know there's no one has an advantage over someone when you're playing like the exact same character. But these two characters, man, talk about very different, very unique characters, and that's what I think we're seeing with the top tier players or the top tier characters. They're all very different. Uh,
oh.
Wolf's pretty
Well,
different. I mean, Wolf and Fox are kind of similar, but
no,
Olimar's really weird.
we've talked about that before on the show. I know
Mhm.
that because like Yeah, Olimar is definitely a very nuanced character that you really got to know what you're doing and what everything does in order to really execute with them properly.
Yeah,
But
like different color
you know,
Pikmin have different effects on your opponent. So if you hit them with a white Pikmin, it like drains their health. It makes your damage go up. It's like it's kind of crazy. You know, the purple Pikmin's harder to knock out. So it's just it's funny to see the little nuances. I still can't
yeah,
play with Olimar to save my life in this game. I like watch this guy
yeah.
play and I'm like I have no idea how he's doing any of this. Um, Roy's not
Is
like
this
that.
the is this the one where they do a bunch of under the arena recoveries
Um,
with
I
Olimar?
don't
Because that
I don't
was
know
the
if this was
buzz,
the
wasn't
game,
it?
but yeah, I posted a clip to our live stream channel. You don't have to switch to it yet, but maybe after this, where I show DeBuzz. He gets knocked off on the left, and he recovers underneath the stage on the right. And I've seen a couple of
Yeah,
characters that are able to do that now. It seems like Pikachu can do that.
yeah. I think you can do that with
Here you go.
Samus too.
Oh, this was just different. Like this, that should have been a knockout right there.
Yeah, that
And he
was just
somehow got
insane.
that. He should not
Yeah.
have been. He should not have survived that. Yeah, I think this might have been it. So he gets knocked out, and he recovers on the other side of the level. That's insane. Like, I don't know if that's going to get nerfed, but when I saw that last, it was Bayonetta in Smash 4, and she became the dominant player in that meta. So it really
Olimar
seems
might.
like Olimar might be the best. But yeah, when I saw that, my jaw dropped. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy's." And also, it speaks to the quality of the player. I think DeBuzz. I had been talking about him for a few weeks now. He had placed decently in tournaments, but he hadn't really won any big ones. Um, I think he had a breakthrough, and it was crazy because he got wrecked in the winner's side of the bracket, and it looked like he was going to get knocked out in the next part of losers, and then he just went on this tear in the losers bracket. Sometimes that's all it takes for a good player to kind of wake up, you know, to have that threat of being eliminated. Because yeah,
Yeah,
the game in winners bracket that he lost, or the match, he had switched to Palutena after one round, and I was like, that's not what he would do. And he even said it afterwards. He was like, yeah, that's not. I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have just tried to adapt. But yeah, this matchup with MVD was great. These are, I think we're going to be talking about these two players in Ultimate for a really long time. These two individuals, DeBuzz and MVD, but also these two characters. We're going to see a lot of Snake. Because, dude, the guy's just got to think about how many things he can do. He's got his, like, Nikita rockets. He's got his grenades. He has C4. His recovery's ridiculous. So, yeah, it's just... And these pro players, they're able to do stuff so quickly. It's just kind of insane. But, yeah, this was a hotly contested final. And just to get there, to Buzz, like I said, he had to win out from his loser side of the bracket. He had to beat a lot of good players to get here.
Snake is also dummy thick.
Yeah, he is pretty thick. But I saw an interesting mix of characters in this tournament because we didn't have the typical guys playing.
And the clap of my
You
ass
had,
cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
what the hell is this?
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick.
what?
And the clap of my
Wait,
ass
what?
cheeks keeps
What are
alerting
we
the
even
guards.
looking at right now? Do I have to unmute?
Yeah, if you didn't hear it, the audio is the whole fun. I might need to replay it. I don't know if you guys caught it.
Yeah, one more time, please.
Colonel,
Oh, no.
I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. And the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
That's right. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He is dummy thick. That's a very good point. But anyway, DeBuzz plays for Team Liquid, Blake.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that L is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it stood
TL?
for loser.
That stands for losers. The TL
Oh, the
stands for
TL.
Team Liquid.
I
Yeah,
saw the L before the TL.
MVD was coming from the winner side of the bracket. DeBuzz was coming from the loser side of the bracket. Like I said, he had an insane run. But yeah, we had I would say he had the best Pikachu player in the world in this tournament. With Esam, he had gotten eliminated by MVD at one point, and those two are roommates. So that was a really fun match to watch because like you could tell those guys play each other a lot. So it went 5 games.
Wow. Yeah, they
But,
probably just hang out and practice all day, huh?
Oh yeah, you live in a house with another professional Smash player. That's probably all you guys do is try out new tech against each other.
Just sit around all day and smash, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You think they shower together?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
No question.
That was my favorite part of having roommates.
Showering together.
What?
Don't you live with your parents?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's a little different, but you know, we accept
Isn't there a
you.
game built around that?
Showering with your parents?
You mean hide the
Like
soap?
showering with your dad simulator or something?
Oh, I
For me,
seem to
it's not a
recall something
simulation.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's just one big tub. We all
We
all
go,
hop
we
in.
go family style in it.
You heat it up with some logs out back.
Yes, sir.
Just hop on in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
So this is kind of, I have a different story that's kind of esports adjacent, and I know that you guys don't like to go on tangents on this show, really, but I thought since it's actually on Shacknews.com right now, it might be worth talking about. And once again, congratulations to DeBuzz, because you have to reset the bracket to beat someone in the grand final. So he came back and he did it.
So is he your person of the week then?
He's my champion of the week, right there.
All right.
And it didn't look like he was gonna win all the time, and he's a very nervous looking dude.
How old? But he's young, right? You said he was what, 12?
No.
Oh,
This isn't the
wait.
14-year-old.
Okay.
That was Prodigy.
This guy's 52.
Yeah, I don't know how old the buzz is. And yeah, MVD is like 80. MVD, man, this is a guy who had been playing. He's been in the esports scene and Smash since Brawl. So like these are guys that have transcended multiple iterations of the game. DeBuzz also, which is kind of cool because he had been a Pikmin player for a very long time. So it's kind of like these guys are finally getting their shine. Like they're finally getting their time in the sun. Whereas like Diddy Kong mains last generation had their time. So it's cool. It makes me wonder if there's a Pikmin game coming for Switch. Because why else would you be buffing him? But yeah, let's talk about this Riot walkout, which I think is happening right now. I don't know. Have you guys been paying attention to this at all?
No, but I mean, there's all sorts of reasons that I could see them doing this.
Yeah, it's over. It's a policy that the company tried to put in, or actually did put in place in the contracts that do not allow for arbitration. The Riot lawyers claim that the employees signed arbitration agreements which waive their rights to a trial by jury against the company. So that's why they're walking out. They think that's an unfair labor practice. Not to mention that there were lawsuits about the company violating the California Equal Pay Act, among other very misogynistic behavior, like lists of employees who are female who are listed by how hot they are, and also a former CEO of the company grabbing people by their junk. There's a very long in-depth report by Kotaku that I link in this article that if you missed it when it came out, you should check it out. It was posted in August of last year, and then shortly after, I'd say maybe a month or two later, you had two former employees that brought lawsuits against Riot, and it's just kind of it's been snowballing since then. But they're saying that you can't sue us because your contract says you can't sue us, and they want to keep the reason that they want to do a private arbitration of these things. They don't want the information in these cases to be public because it probably is really bad for a lot of the executives at the company, right? There's reports of a bro culture and all sorts of really nasty thing. And also just if you just ignore the claims of sexual harassment or anything, there seems to be a mountain of evidence of women who were qualified to get promotions that were passed over for dudes. And it's just yeah, I think this is the studio that makes League of Legends, right? One of the largest esports in the world. And
like,
their employees are not happy, so I think it's important for us to shed a giant spotlight on this today and every day that we can.
Absolutely.
And it speaks to the whole, and this is tangential to this, but it kind of speaks to the problem of workers' rights at these game studios, and how these companies could slide something into a employment contract that basically waives legal rights. So I think employees are standing up and saying, let's get rid of this. Let's actually let people, they want the right to be able to sue their company. And the company clearly doesn't want that. But I'm going to definitely take the side of people who seem to have a lot of evidence that this studio specifically is not behaving properly. And their management needs to be checked.
Yeah, if everyone on staff is walking out, you're doing something wrong.
I didn't say it's everyone.
Well, it's probably not like it's like the lower tier workers, I'd imagine, right? Not management.
Yeah, I know some people who work over there that I've been following on Twitter, and I'm like, they haven't. I think some people are afraid to get fired for walking out, but the people who can walk out are. And Kotaku said that this is going to be the largest walkout in the history of any video game developer. So I hope that the studio continues to have a spotlight on it and that they try to do something about this. But the problem is, if you believe the reports, that a lot of this occurs at the very top of the company. So for them to be held accountable, it really does need to go to court. So I understand their frustration. It's got to be really annoying and really frustrating and just awful for some of these people to work there. So yeah, we reported on that earlier today. I think it's going on right now. I haven't seen any pictures or anything of it. There's a hashtag Riot Walkout to follow, and I highlighted some people in the article who work at Riot that said they were going to walk out today. But yeah, this is that other side of esports, right? The whole, people have to make games and they're not being treated properly. But yeah, League of Legends, right?
Yeah, it's I mean, so one of the biggest esports in the world, like you were saying, and they definitely have some internal problems. What do you think? Like, how do fans get involved with supporting the workers' rights, though? I think
that's
the big question.
I don't know.
It's not like you can.
But you could just because like you could say, boycotting. I remember someone said that last year. Like boycotting Red Dead's not going to change how they treat their employees, and I guess that's true. Court the Jester said he had a friend of his noped out of the studio after interning there for 1 day. So that's something. Spread the message about how the company sucks. There you go. Which is what I did today. And yeah, but Mobile, it's a good point, but at the same time, like these are people who have jobs that they've been working at this company for a while, and they're afraid if they leave this company under this pretense, they might not get hired by another company. I have a friend who that happened to her on the games journalism side of things, where she had left a company under a kind of a lawsuit, and other outlets would not hire her. So that's the other thing to consider. But yeah, I agree that people should be vocal about this. And that's why we reported on this. I'm glad Kotaku's reporting. I think Waypoint's been reporting on this. So yeah, it's I think giving these devs a platform to say what they need is important. You can always talk to a journalist anonymously. You can, um, but they're afraid. Like there was a thread in the chatty, man, about how companies spy on their employees. So even if you are giving an anonymous tip, the company's monitoring your communications and knows that you gave that anonymous tip. You know what I mean?
Not
So
only that, there's Facebook and shit like that where people are connected via social media.
Mhm.
Like if a company decides to just go through and comb who you know and who might have been privy to information that they gave you,
yeah.
yeah, it's usually pretty easy to figure it out. So
No,
yeah.
I agree that there's a way to do it, Mobob, for sure. And yeah, but I can just tell you from
You got to be so
having
careful.
having reached out to potential sources, not just maybe about this story, but other stories going on with Game Dev Crunch. The two things that I hear a lot, even from people who I ask to speak anonymously, they're like, I'm afraid it's going to hurt my ability to get a job somewhere else. And I think that's the number one fear that a lot of these people have.
Whistleblowing
Clearly,
is seen as a career killer a lot of times. If it gets
sometimes.
out that you're the one that blew the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even though it's like the right thing to do, I think it just speaks more to how corrupt
Corporate
businesses are
culture
now.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not. Yeah, I wouldn't ever say someone should stay in a situation that's bad for them, but I think that
Oh yeah, absolutely not. But yeah,
trying to
it's
rationalize why they stay there, and I think it's fear of not being able to get another job. And that's an even crappier situation to find yourself in. You're in a job that you already hate, and you're being treated inappropriately, and then you're afraid to say anything because you might not be able to get another job when you leave. Like that just sounds like being held hostage, and it sucks.
yeah.
But no, some of these people are being very vocal though. So I think that it's cool that the folks that I quote in this article and other people have either spoken to outlets anonymously or just spoken into the void of social media and been picked up. So I don't know, but hopefully, I think that these reports are just kind of the beginning of something bigger at game studios in general, and I think that game devs kind of need like a bill of rights or something where it's just uh, there's a way to treat them better than is already going on, and that includes equal pay for equal work and a lot of other things.
Yeah, I think if game developers decided they wanted to have a union, it makes more sense than like a games press.
Yeah. Infinitely more sense.
Yeah, but and that's I kind of want to see that happen, especially because that's gonna start guaranteeing things like health insurance and minimum, like you can't work them overtime without paying out the nose, mandatory time between shifts, things like that. Like you're not going to be able to crunch them as hard, and if you do crunch them as hard, you're going to have to pay them properly for it, because a lot of times they'll try and get away with just not paying salaried employees for overtime.
Oh, that's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, all over the place. We reported that Firefox story, Chris, that's in the top right. There's a shacker who tweeted or posted a thread. He was like, "Yeah, we worked all weekend on this." so that you guys can have your extensions in Firefox. So no, it's not just in game dev is what I'm getting at. If you're a salaried employee, yeah, they treat you like, yeah. There's a reason that like Google's headquarters has a freaking volleyball court and coffee shops in every building. They don't want you to leave ever, you know. So I think it's just development in general, not just game development. They treat their engineers kind of poorly. But at Google, you have healthcare and you have all these benefits. Uh, I think that the rights that an engineer has at a traditional tech company should apply to someone who works in game dev. And I think the way that they've screwed people over is like, oh, but you're working your dream job making games. You know?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean these people don't deserve the same right as any other dev. And I think that's where we're at. That's like the core of these problems that I see. And it's not, it goes beyond, it's not just crunch. It's not just this harassment of women. It's like all sorts of things. But game developers need rights and they need someone to stand up for those rights. But yeah, I feel like this is just, this kind of story is going to snowball into other things. But yeah, the one way to vote against these guys is to vote with your dollar, but then that hurts the people who work there, you know? So I still like KDA, right? That pop star song, it's still pretty great.
Also, if you don't buy the game, the publisher will accuse you of pirating it and then not release games anymore.
Yeah, that too. Accuse you of pirating. I would never pirate League of Legends. Isn't it free to play?
Isn't it free?
Yeah, but you know.
Who would pirate a free to play game?
Chris?
You got anything?
If you're a real hard pirate, yeah, I could see it. I have a friend right now that's playing a pirated City of Heroes server.
Oh yeah,
I heard about those servers
because
coming
the
back.
game's down.
The game's been dead for a long ass time.
Yeah, so good for the community creating servers out there.
But that
they're
was
pirates.
electronic sports related. That tangent was electronic sports related.
The one that we just went on?
Names.
Yeah, sorry. I had to pull out my soapbox and get all SJW on your asses, but
it's okay.
I think it's a good thing to be a warrior for social justice in that case. But yeah, holy cow. That's definitely another thing happening, kind of tangential to esports.
Yeah, I'm gonna check Twitter really quick.
I did watch some RLCS this weekend, Chris. I don't know if you found any footage of that, but Dignitas had some pretty epic games. But yeah, I was like, I told you a few episodes ago, I'm like, I'm going to make an effort to watch some more Rocket League Championship Series. And I'm glad I did. Holy crap, are these guys good at Rockets. Like, so much better than I'll ever be. And I also have the standings still up from the last time we looked at it. So, 7-0 in North America, we have NRG. Second place, G2 Esports. These team names are still stupid, Chris. Third place overall, Cloud9, 4-3. Space Station Gaming, who we're watching here, is 3-4 on the season. Ghost Gaming is also 3-4. Rogue is 2-5. Evil Geniuses is down to 2-5, and Splice is 1-6. Some stinkers down there at the bottom. But yeah, you got an undefeated NRG Esports. Over there in Europe, you got that Renault Sport Team Vitality, 6-1. FC Barcelona is 5-2. PSG Esports 4-3. Triple Trouble is 4-3. The game I watched was TSM versus Dignitas. TSM's 3-4, and so is Dignitas. And I think Dignitas had some serious runs in the past, so they're kind of under hard times. The Bricks are 2-5, and Mouse Sports or Mouse Esports is 1-6. And then there's teams in Oceania, which sound even dumber. Icon Esports 5-0, Renegades 4-1, Justice Esports 4-1, One Esports 4-2, Out of Order 3-2, Team Esper 1-5, Edge 1-5, Mprox, which sounds like a cleaning compound, 0-6.
These straight up corkscrew jumps that some of these guys are doing. I gotta learn that.
Yep.
Get that. My arsenal. Although I've gotta say, like have you been playing any Rocket Leagues since the HD update?
It's in HD now.
Yeah, on PS4.
What is? I don't even know what that means. There's an HD update.
Yeah, I'm
HDR.
not sure. Like
Yeah.
it's
There's the HDR.
oh HDR. Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
They added
HD.
HDR to Rocket League.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It'd be nice if they put it on the PC, but they'll probably make us wait for the Epic Game Store version.
Yeah, I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about that. But yeah, real quick, South America, because they exist. Erodium, 5-1. Low Key Esports.
God,
Still
is that
my
a
favorite
shirt or
team
something?
name. Low
Is that
Key
a
Esports. 5-1. Oh man, I want them to win the whole thing.
South America, because that's a thing. It's on a
No.
t-shirt.
Lotus 4-1. Ints 4-1. Orchid 1-4. Team Cryptic 1-4. G Factor Galaxy 1-5. And Fantasy Death 1-5. Why is Fantasy Death one word? Anyway, Low-Key Esports is just low-key my favorite team name for anything.
All horrible, horrible team names. Why can't we just have like the Bakersfield Honky Donkeys or something?
I would totally root for them. But
Well, why
given
don't
all
you-
that list of terrible names, and I'm going to say it every week just because it's hilarious. Low-Key Esports is by far my favorite. Because like low-key esports and like not like super crazy.
What's up,
This looks like
Lucci?
it's gonna go to overtime. Eh?
Keep it cash, esports.
Wow, this ball's still in the
Rogue and
air.
NRG.
Okay, there we go. Cronovi in overtime. So Cronovi's on Rogue.
If Pete explained earlier in the chat, he had been on G2 forever and then he just moved to Rogue.
That's
Now
right.
Rogue sucks it and G2 is going to the LAN.
Yeah, that's pretty whack. They do it for the money.
That's what you get for turning on your friends, Kronovi.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe he'll go back to G2 Sports and then beat the Golden State Warriors in 2016 NBA Finals.
Maybe.
Bitter much?
Maybe.
Hey, did
We'll
you
get it
see? Did you see James Harden's eyeballs?
He lost them.
Did anybody see that? You like how no fouls were called on either of those plays? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Maybe he was smoking weed.
I don't know, man. It seems like I'm just guessing that wouldn't have been the first time he had ever done that.
Smoked weed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That.
So
Oh, you
think
don't know.
So your theory, instead of that Draymond Green raked his eyeballs with his fingernails, you think that maybe he just smoked during the game?
I think you can't be objective about the Warriors because you're still hurting inside.
I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is rich.
Haven't you seen my Go Warriors posts in the chatty?
I am actively ignoring those.
Oh, well.
I know the real you.
Anyway, that totally was just, I'm sure, maybe it was allergies.
Could have been. Maybe he was really sleepy.
Your eyes ever get itchy from allergies?
Well, they did.
NRG, man, this team's just filthy. I don't really know any of these players. I think I heard Garrett G's name before. That sounds familiar. That was a close game, though. Went to overtime. It seems like Kronovi's not that far away. You know, like maybe it's one of those things where you're on a new team and you lose to the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals your first season with that new team. It's kind of like that.
Have you checked out the Rocket Pass this season?
Have you been to a therapist?
Yeah.
Oh man, Cleveland Browns therapy. It's on Twitter. It's an actual Twitter account, Krabs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kinda. They're pretty helpful. Oh wow, look at that defense, man. This is insane. The goalkeeping by NRG is kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys have watched this last 45 seconds, but just amazing stuff to watch. On both sides, really. Because this the first game was 1-1, went to overtime. This one's 1-1.
Gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always blows my mind.
Hey, Lucci.
So what
Bye.
about? So yeah, let's talk about how Psyonix is no longer an independent developer, right? They got bought by Epic.
They are now part of the Tim Sweeney Epic Games machine, and now they will
That's
make
right.
Fortnite cars.
How long until we're building ramps
In
Rocket League?
No,
Yeah.
I think you're more likely to be playing Rocket League and Fortnite.
That would be cool. I would play Rocket League on Fortnite's Deathmatch Island or Battle Royale Island.
I don't know.
I think more likely is you're going to get Rocket League Mobile with lots of boxes to buy.
Rocket League Mobile?
I'm not even kidding.
Oh no.
I don't know.
All they said in the statement was like making Rocket League available to more players, and there ain't no other place to release it. Unless they're going to release it for like car stereos.
You could say Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, Pete, if you want to be more modern. Because someone's there. He's talking about how NRG is basically the Bulls. Jordan, Pippen, and Grant.
Maybe he meant Jordan, Pippen, and Luke Longley.
Or BJ Armstrong.
Or Will Purdue.
I'm really
Will
curious.
Purdue. Bill Wennington.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm really curious as to what Epic has planned, because this is like gotta be part of cornering the market on esports, and
it's probably more to corner the market to kill Steam.
Yeah, it's just trying to kill Steam more.
You think it's more just to get this off of Steam completely, so they have one less?
If you're buying key boxes for Rocket League on PC right now, Steam is getting a cut and not Epic.
That's one. A long time ago, Psyonix made a mode of gameplay for Unreal Tournament 2004. And I think that they've had a relationship with Epic for a really long time. They were one of the best UE3 devs out there. That's why this game runs on UE3. So I think that there was just already a very good relationship between the studios. And we've played Fortnite a few weeks ago, Chris. Vehicles in that game aren't so great. I feel like they're going to be kind of working on some kind of vehicle combat for Fortnite. I feel like that's why they were acquired. But then on top of that, it's another exclusive for their store. It's a game that they can make free for Epic Game Store people, which like World of Goo is free right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a free game.
It's another game where they can have a live team push content to buy out every week, regardless of what it does to the balance of the game.
Yep.
Well, if we're talking, like Chris, you brought up, like they stated that they're going to bring it to more people. Like one of the biggest reasons that Rocket League had success was that it was free on the PlayStation Network. That got it on a lot of consoles that it wouldn't have been on normally, and I think helped it bring it to a larger audience. So, like Asif, like you're saying, if they are going to make it a free-to-play game on the Epic Game Store, at least like for a month or whatever, like that's a great way to bring in a ton of new players and get some of that crate cash that you were talking about, Chris.
Well, I think releasing on Steam was a way to get more players at the time, because the previous game was not on PC at all. And it's not like this game didn't sell on the PC. They are literally driving dump trucks of money still to this day on this one.
This is something else I've been thinking about. Do you think we'll see maybe a Rocket League tournament edition or something like that? Yeah.
I think that
because there's a lot of stuff built into the Steam version right now, and if it goes down, the workshop support and item trading and all that is going to be gone. But a lot of people are not going to be willing to give up the original version of the game unless they push out a new SKU, and then maybe they tie their tournaments to that, which wouldn't surprise me. Because if you remove the prize pools from the base thing, then, you know, you can get people to buy the new Epic Game Store version.
But I think, wasn't another fear about in-app purchases on Steam and how that'll be handled when it's...
Well, I think it'll be the same. It'll just be that Epic gets the cut now instead of a 70-30 between Psyonix and Steam.
No, but, like, we still have Rocket League.
Right.
Like,
I don't know that the new Bible content, if they do pull the game from Steam, which is expected at the end of the year...
They'll stop offering the new DLC on Steam?
Yeah, I think that's the reason. So you can't actively sell your game on Steam unless you also offer its DLC to Steam customers. So if you pull the game from sale, then you can offer the DLC on your own thing without having to sell it to Steam customers.
See, that's crappy. I think that's
the reason, like, when you buy Ubisoft games on Steam, that you can still buy the season passes and all the stuff via Steam. That's part of the Steam's agreement, is that they'll let anybody sell whatever they want on the store as long as you let the Steam customers buy DLC.
So maybe
I'm surprised that they had Neo Tokyo on a tournament game. By the way,
that's the reason that, like, the Mass Effect DLC, like Mass Effect 3 was never on Steam because EA would not sell the DLC and the stuff away from Origin. That was part of that first wave. Same with Crysis 3. That was part of their original dust up.
Do you think that maybe Epic is going to make people, like, make an Epic account and link it on their currently existing Rocket League games?
Nobody knows.
Stuff like that to get updates.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
They haven't been very communicative about what's going to happen, and that's making things worse.
There was lots of threads in the Reddit about it, you know, asking, can we get the answers to these questions? And there was just silence.
Mm-hmm.
So...
and
they said they can't state anything ahead of the official merging of the companies or whatever. So,
Yeah.
But that's also, you know,
I mean, that's
just legal
that's a tightrope.
BS.
Yeah, exactly. They just don't want to say something and then have it bite them in the ass when it turns out to be something else.
And
they're trying
honestly,
not to Molyneux it.
Psyonix,
They don't.
once this deal's done, they're not going to have as much control over this property anymore. So they're not really the ones to ask.
No,
It's going to be it'll be a question for Tim Sweeney.
that's true. Although, like, it really depends on how much creative control they, negotiated for. It's tough to say. You know, I can't imagine that they were super desperate for money or anything like that.
Tim Sweeney offered them a butt ton of money. And after, like, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years of being a small studio kind of scraping by, that sounded like a pretty sweet deal to them, most likely.
I also remember them specifically commenting that the free on PlayStation deal ended up being super bad for them because it did so well. The only thing that kept the money coming in for them at the time was that the PC people bought copies of the game at full price.
Because they suddenly had all these players that paid them nothing, and they had to spin up servers for everybody. So yeah, it was the No Clip documentary on Rocket League does a great job of detailing that. But yeah, it's that free to play thing did not really help them for PS Plus. But in the end,
but that's a monster outlier because that's not normally the thing that happens.
I think in the short end, they've got bit in the ass, but I think in the long run,
you could argue it was Steam that saved them because I got Rocket League for free on my PlayStation 4, and then I turned around and I bought it for $20 on Steam.
Yeah, they sold 1 million copies on the PC incredibly fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, it's still the dominant platform for all competitive play, unless I'm misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It was funny. I was talking to Pete last week. I think it was on stream about what to do. Oh my god, look at this traffic jam in front of the goal. What to do going forward. And I suggested we all just go play it on Switch. Because they're not going to do anything to the Switch version. It'll still be nice and crappy. But yeah, it's funny how... Yeah, it's like the console people are fine in all this. It's not really going to affect any of them, but it's the PC players that are, once again, it's the launcher wars. It's not the console wars anymore. And
Yeah.
Tim Sweeney has more money than Gabe, is what's going on right now.
Gabe's just been trying to build rocket ships, so.
Gabe? Rocket Ship?
Oh wait, no, that was Carmack. Never mind.
Yeah, Carmack works at Facebook now.
Yeah.
It looks like as of now, it's still all rough guesstimates, but they have more than 10 million copies on the PC as of a year ago. That's just Steam.
We're just having a Netflix issue from the gaming side, from what I'm seeing. It says, Court the Jester.
Netflix issue. What is the Netflix?
It's in this case, Steam is Netflix. Steam showed that the model can work. You can make money selling PC games. And now all the content producers want their own cut of the pie by making their own launchers or whatever else. So that's how Disney and all these, and Comcast and all these companies are spinning up their own version of Netflix and refusing to offer or license the content to Netflix. It's not exactly the same, but it's somewhat like that.
It's similar. The difference is one is owned content that I already bought on a storefront, and then it's disappearing. I kind of compare it to what happened to Duke Nukem Megaton Edition. Where Gearbox pulled that from Steam, but people who bought it still got it. That's different, though, because there's not cosmetic DLC in that game. There's just the game. I think that's what makes this different, is that we don't really have... I don't think there's a playbook for this.
Metro Exodus, right?
Mm-hmm.
That already... Like, people were able to keep their...
The people that Steam, pre-ordered it, before they made the switch, got to keep the copies.
No, and I hear you, Pete. It's not... He resents being bullied into a storefront he doesn't support. He wants to keep playing his favorite game. Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah, but that's also that's the same reason I haven't watched the new Twilight Zone or the new Star Trek, because I'm not going to pay CBS.
They have a sub
just to watch those two shows. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But
because you're a streamcist against the networks.
I don't know. I think the difference is you're paying a subscription with these entertainment packages. You're just paying for the games with all these different launchers.
My beef is this: we went from, oh man, everyone is going to unbundle, we're cutting the cord, things are great. Now you add up all these subs, it costs more than the freaking cable bundle. It's like they pulled a fast one on all the consumers. Content owners are now getting more money than they were before under the bundle.
Well, the content owners didn't think that Netflix as a streaming thing would ever work at the time, and they were going to stick with the way they were doing.
Yeah, no, Netflix.
And it's similar because there was a lot of these companies, Epic included, who pulled out of PC gaming altogether in the mid-2000s because they had also made comments like, these people, they only pirate. Yeah, Gears, Cliffy B specifically said that you guys aren't going to pay for the game, you'll pirate it, so you need to go to the Xbox if you want our games. Yeah. And then Steam kind of showed up and showed that you can make money selling games to computer players, and then Epic is back.
And now
they want a piece of that pie.
Gears of War 4 for PC.
Nice port, by the way.
Right? Too bad that game's not as good as it could have been, but the port, very good port.
Nothing wrong with a solid port.
No. But yeah, I think it's funny how they were like, Gears of War, not on PC because of piracy. And Microsoft's like, oh, about that. We're selling it. Thanks, Epic. Yeah, they launched console ports on PC. They gave birth to that. I don't know if we want to... What is this Axe commercial?
It was embedded within the Rocket League. So sorry.
Well played, Rocket League. So does that money go to Tim Sweeney now for Axe? How does this all work out?
No, not yet. But I also don't blame Psyonix. I don't blame developers. I mean, cash in when you can. Obviously, this becoming the biggest game in the world was not exactly a plan they had. They, it hit them by surprise overnight. Like you said, they had to make huge adjustments. It's probably also possible that just their day-to-day stuff there, as fast as they had to expand, all the work they have to do to keep the esports side of it up, the server back end, all this, it's probably exhausting. And if they got to a point where, they want to cash out and enjoy life, I have nothing against them whatsoever. Never against the developers in any of these situations. Like, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, and like I'm happy for them. And I tweeted congratulations at Psyonix because I was just like, this is think of how much joy this game's given you. Like they deserve reward. Those people who put that risked their money and their livelihood to bring us that game, they deserve to cash in, you know? And especially Epic money, because they got all the money in the world from Fortnite. So like part of me is like happy to see how they're redistributing the money. That they are like there's I think some noble-ish ideas to the Epic Game Store with the whole higher percentage cut, and I know that there's an asterisk there.
Mm-hmm.
But given that, like I do think that it's cool that this company that's making billions off of Fortnite is buying things with their money.
Yeah, they're not outright evil or anything, but I think a lot of this resentment or whatever towards them will go away if the platform improves, if it looks like they're making some sort of effort to improve the situation on the consumer end. Mm-hmm. And up to this point, most of it has been basically all the opposite of that.
I mean, they're also giving out free games every month.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone gets those games. It's not... You have to buy anything.
But they're not unique in that. I mean, there's free games on all sorts of platforms all the time. It's like Ubisoft, EA, Steam, all of these have been doing this for years. Yeah. Like, it's not...
I think the only company that's not doing free games is Nintendo at this point. And, like, I guess Tetris 99 kind of counts as one, but no, there's... It's funny. It's like free games with a subscription, right? There's, like, Twitch Prime has them. Discord has.
Oh, those are separate from the outright free games, like. But specifically, I know Ubisoft does it a lot. EA does it a lot. I mean, they put up their own launchers at a time too when it was not popular. I mean, I remember being miffed seriously when I heard that I was going to have to do all my Battlefield 3 via Origin, especially when we've been hearing at the time that it was going to be designed to work with the the Steam browser pop up to do the battle log stuff and all that, and then. There was growing pains with it, but ultimately the thing functions now and it's usable. I mean, I still don't, if I had to get two games that were the same price and one was on Origin and with Steam, I'd go with Steam just because it's just a better experience all around. Especially with Origin flat out just going offline and ruining everybody's games all weekend.
Yeah,
that was definitely something that happened. So there's, I think that Epic can turn it around, like, if they get the store up to snuff, or not just the store, but their platform altogether up to snuff and offer more things that are consumer-friendly. We'll see. I think, there a lot of resentment just comes from the exclusive thing where people get the idea that, they're just buying their way into all this stuff rather than, I don't know. We'll see. They got all year to build things up and improve before the Rocket League transition happens over, because that's not going to be till the fall or holiday time.
I think the biggest release this year on the Epic Game Store is Borderlands 3.
It will be Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay. In reality, it'll be Borderlands 3. And a lot of the things on their roadmap that they made available on Trello have to be completed by then.
I think Red Dead's going to outsell Borderlands 3. We'll see, though.
In a world where Red Dead 2 doesn't come out on Epic Game Store.
Oh, but it is.
But it won't.
There's no way Take-Two switches away from the Epic Game Store now.
Yeah, I get it. But so, of the announced games releasing on Epic Game Store. Yeah. I think having the infrastructure right for Borderlands 3 is super important. And if you look at, Epic made their Trello available for what they're working on. So I do think that just a point against what Pete's saying about the lack of communication, I do think that the team at Epic did say, here's everything we're working on. Now, when people ask them questions, that's when they don't really communicate, except for tweets by Tim Sweeney on like a Sunday, and yeah, Psyonix hasn't been able to communicate.
If you want your tweets responded to, you need to send them to Randy Pitchford.
But yeah, Randy Pitchford has had a lot to say about it too. But I think that'll be the game that we can point to and we can say, look, there's actually a backlash happening, or look, people just wanted their Borderlands and they don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's gonna be
that'll be the goalpost in my
Yeah, I
opinion.
think it'll
And
be
then-
people want the Borderlands and don't care because we've seen this happen again. Like I mentioned, the Battlefield 3 and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah, and even to a lesser extent with Metro, like it didn't sell terribly.
they have not released any. The only way we know the sales are the copies that they pre-sold on Steam. There is no indication of any
I thought they
sales.
sold-
Yeah, they made an announcement that says it's the best ever, and then that
Yeah.
was the extent of it.
They said it was the best. Ever,
Yeah, they
but
said it
didn't
was
say
the
how
best
many.
ever over Last Light, which launched with like 8,000 copies.
Yeah,
So, it's hard to say. They're not going to ever be upfront about that stuff ever. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, Metro Exodus.
the only
Story-
game they
story.
specifically mentioned copies on to this date has been World War Z.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, that's what I'm watching. The Borderlands 3 release is going to be the thing that.
Also, what other games do you think they buy this year? Like, I mean, it can't be over now. There's got to be mo.
You think that this was just the beginning of something?
Well, I mean, why stop now? I mean, a week ago, if you would have told me, oh, well, yeah, Rocket League is now, it's going epic. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it. I didn't say it's like implausible, but I wouldn't have thought they would have, set it up for an already long established on sale game. To this point, it's been stuff that's been pre-release, even if it's only been a week before release or whatever. It's all been pre-order stuff.
Here's the thought: maybe it's not an acquisition of sorts, but more exclusives on PC.
Mm-hmm.
I think because you mentioned 2K Take-Two, right?
Right.
What about NBA 2K?
I think NBA 2K will be on Epic Game Store exclusively.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be that'll be an exclusive.
And good riddance to them if they don't fix their stupid loot boxes.
So bad on PC, so bad, so very very bad on PC.
I think that they want part of that. The Chinese market for that game is the driver of sales on PC because it doesn't do well here. But I'm fully expected to be Epic Game Store.
Yeah, so I think you're going to see WWE, 2K, all those 2K games are going to make the jump. And that's those are like backroom deals where, I'm sure Epic's paying some money for that exclusivity, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think you're going to see more of that. Hey there, Beowulf. And yeah, now with this, how is this going to affect the... Oh my god, he subscribed for the 12th
One calendar year.
Thank you so much, Beowulf. Seriously, the hero of time right there.
That's where they go. Cool and awesome and everything.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I like video games and I want people to be able to play them on all the platforms. And I thought that Epic really last year was doing a lot to make it better for people playing cross-platform. But now a lot of their... it's not anti-competitive. It's all very competitive. They're trying to drive competition in the PC gaming space. That's a good thing. The side effects of this are what's pissing people off. And this was the first time where it was something close to my heart. To do this to Rocket League, I was like, oh man. I didn't really care. Like, no offense to Metro, I didn't care when it was Epic exclusive. Nice goal there by Gimmick. Wow. These guys make me feel so bad at this game. That's filthy. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. To me, that was another big story. And yeah, from an esports standpoint, this will help Rocket League because of the money. What's keeping these esports going? It's the prize money.
Epic gets a lot of the goodwill on pushing crossplay, but ultimately they only did it because they wanted to sell Fortnite items.
Yep.
Outside of the terms that the hard or platform providers had.
That's right.
They didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay Sony the share. They didn't want to pay Xbox's share. They didn't want to pay PC share
Nintendo. Yeah.
or Nintendo, and so they set this up as a way to say, "Hey, we're trying to help people out."
So
Which crossplay is great, but I mean, it's not like Rocket League didn't have it for 5 years before Epic started this crusade.
Because I know you're an Android user, right?
Unfortunately,
Let's say Epic Games releases an app store for iOS that competes with Apple.
mm-hmm.
Same cut, same everything. Would you be for that?
Yeah, if they offered
that 88% split.
I mean, are you asking me as a dev or a person buying games?
Just as anyone,
if it's a good experience and I like buying from them, yeah, I don't care. I don't care where I buy my games from. Honestly, it's just I hate the idea that of a bought out exclusive that makes the experience on my buying end objectively worse than it would have been on the other platform.
Yeah, no, that's
I understand exclusives are how things work in consoles, but on the PC it's generally not been this way. It's just kind of weird.
Here's an idea. You asked what I just came up with a potential acquisition for Epic. System Error.
Yeah, I mean anything's possible. Although I think they just made a publishing deal with Gearbox.
That's fine. Gearbox is publishing on. Gearbox would be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean anything's fine. Like I hope that Epic Store. I would love for them to get a lot of the features that Steam has got and to be a legitimate competitor, and have the option to pop them both up and decide how I want to do the game. We'll see if that happens. Hope it does.
I try to leave Steam open more than I do the Epic Game Store. Out of habit.
For what reason?
I don't know. Friend list purposes, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to have friends, but
I used to care a lot about my Steam friend list, like back in 2010 when that was really the only way to speak to people that was outside of your voice chat or whatever. But
yeah, sure.
I guess Discord changes things, or maybe my group doesn't really talk. I mean, the Steam chat is not great. It's better than it's been, but yeah, it could be like Epic has an opportunity to go in and like really change the way things are for interaction with your friends and all that. Maybe Discord's already eating lunch there, but
there's one. They could acquire Discord.
Oh yeah, just buy somebody out. I mean, I would love to see them put that talent into really making improvements.
We didn't even think about what if they bought Psyonix because of all the crossplay work they've done?
I think they just want those key money.
I mean, it could be that, but I mean, they are a team that has experience getting crossplay working.
No, I think it's
there's the technical limitation was never the issue. It was always the lawyers.
Yeah, it was literally just Sony flipping a switch.
There is no technical hurdle for all these games.
There really wasn't. I think the technical hurdle was overblown when it came to crossplay. It was literally getting the companies to agree to it, and that's what Epic did. And that's what opened the door for Psyonix. I really think it's their work with vehicles. Psyonix has a long track record of making vehicles in games.
I mean, John Carmack had crossplay between the Dreamcast and Windows 98 20 years ago. It's not like it's rocket surgery.
Quake 3 on Dreamcast, when you could tell when you were playing against a Dreamcast player. It was hilarious. It's like in Fortnite when you're playing against a mobile player. But you're right. You're right. And Dreamcast to PC was the first instance of that.
And that was in the dark ages of dial-up, so it was probably a real boner to get that working smoothly.
Mm-hmm. But no, I think it's more... I think it has to do with their tech and their work in vehicles. And just knowing how to make Unreal games with fun vehicles. Because if you played UT 2004, it had some fun-ass vehicles that you could slash people in half with. Yeah, I did see that Rage 2 Dreamcast giveaway, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yes.
Wait, they're giving away new Dreamcast?
So they said it would play
computer.
Rage 2.
Oh.
It's a computer that can play Rage 2 that looks like a Dreamcast.
Oh, I thought it was. I got excited.
No,
Yeah.
I would. If Rage 2 was like a Dreamcast 2 exclusive, that'd be pretty dope.
I love the
too.
Dreamcast.
Don't make promises like that to my heart.
I know. It's like that system, man. That
If-
system's like the F-Zero of Sega.
So the
like
Sega
Sega
Classics
games.
collection they recently revamped for Steam last year, where they cleaned up the graphics, they added the workshop support, and added online multiplayer. We've done it a couple times on the stream here before, but if they were willing to do that work and have a similar Dreamcast option, I would be happier than a pig and shit.
I'm trying to think of other smaller devs that Epic could buy. Because the problem is, like, there's some bigger companies out there. You know, the other question, Krabs, is who's going to buy Epic?
Tencent.
Tencent or Google?
Yeah.
Cinemax.
I hate that everybody has to acquire everybody all the time. It's a real boner.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens when you're in year 10 of an economic expansion.
That's unchecked capitalism at its finest.
Yeah, that's really where we're at. These companies are so massive and have so much money that the only way they can grow is to acquire. I think this should also be viewed as like Epic's trying to diversify away from Fortnite. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what's really happening.
Oh yeah, it's a smart play while they got the capital to do it.
Yeah.
we've definitely passed the peak of Fortnite, I feel. And nothing but Pokemon has staying power.
I don't know. What about old Sonic the Hedgehog? I mean, he's got a movie coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
Then-
A high quality movie at that.
Well, a high quality movie that's about to be pushed back several months as they
Redo
re-render
the
out
entire
all the
character
Sonic-
model.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing they had nobody there in the business meeting to speak up and be like, "This shit's weird, guys."
Like, dude, his teeth, man. Like, who bit their lip in that meeting that led to this? That's really
Well,
the
it's
question.
Hollywood's a bunch of coked up executives, so it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
know-
have seen the Mario movie, right? Dennis Hopper was fucking Bowser. It still doesn't make sense now.
I
That
still
movie
don't
was
get
brilliant. That movie is brilliant. I don't know why.
Yeah,
everyone
it was
hates on
brilliant. But it is not brilliant as a Mario movie.
Tom Waits is Toad. I mean, come on.
John Leguizamo as Luigi. Unforgivable.
Man.
That's unforgivable to me.
Man.
Can't put Leguizamo in that movie.
Well, we can't let a Monday afternoon pass without talking about the most important stuff.
Mhm.
You know what I'm getting at here?
Sauce?
Oh,
Sauce.
I'm talking
Time for
Overwatch
sauce.
League.
Oh, God.
Oh, of course.
Damn it.
Overwatch League. Hey,
Oh,
something
man.
actually.
I'm actually in between stage 2 and stage 3 of Overwatch League right now.
Oh,
Chemo's just taken effect.
I'm starting to
That's
lose
in
your
poor
hair.
taste.
Sorry, every time we talk about it. It's not a coincidence that there's 4 stages of both Overwatch League and Cancer. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm glad that we could talk in depth about the nuances of the hot gameplay here and all the esportiness
These
of this.
Chengdu hunters, though, are freaking badasses. Look at them.
Whatever you
Especially
say,
Bacon
man.
Jack. I mean, if you go by Bacon Jack, I mean, come on.
I actually really like their setup, the stage setup for the Overwatch League. I like that it's slightly smaller venue and they've got the wraparound graphics.
Mm-hmm.
It's really slick. It's too bad I still have no idea what's happening in the game.
Fun fact,
Let's
this
see.
is where Conan O'Brien's Tonight Show was filmed.
Ooh.
Oh man, that makes me sad and a little sick.
That's what happened to Conan O'Brien's stage, guys. In case you were wondering.
No, man, Conan O'Brien, hella famous people.
Thanks,
Many of them
Activision.
dead.
So Chengdu versus
In the year
our favorite.
2000, our studio
Paris
gets used for
Eternal.
anime bullcrap.
In the year 2000, Overwatch League.
Filmed here, and Conan O'Brien is on TBS.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Man, there was so beyond all the excitement here, like something happened with the San Francisco Shock.
They had the best stage 2 in history.
Yeah, they're also the only team this season to win on every map.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So shout outs to my local team. Not my favorite team. Definitely not the New York Excelsior.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are not how are they doing now? Like where are they at?
They're 5-2 in stage 2. Guys, I have some breaking news from Overwatch League because none of us were watching this weekend. Shanghai Dragons made the playoffs for stage 2.
Hey! Wow.
Talk about
That's
a turnaround.
Yeah. Cleveland
So-
Browns of of Overwatch League.
Yeah. So congratulations, Shanghai Dragons. The teams that did not make the cut, the Houston Outlaws, which went 0-7 in the stage.
Oh.
The Florida Mayhem also went 0-7. Washington Justice 1-6. Guangzhou Charge 2-5. I don't want to spoil this Paris Eternals game, but they're 2-5. Toronto Defiant 2-5. The LA Valiant still terrible. Worst name. They're 3-4. Boston Uprising's 3-4. Whole gang of teams that were right on the edge. You know, like the Chengdu Hunters, Seoul Dynasty, Philadelphia Fusion, Atlanta Reign, Boston Uprising, and Los Angeles Valiant were all 3-4. So the Shanghai Dragons really they pulled it out. So congratulations to them.
Awesome.
And you got more. You got playoffs. Was it playoffs this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't it? Isn't it
Yeah.
stage 2?
Yeah. Stage 2 playoffs this weekend.
Huh. That'll be one to watch. Unless you're watching CS:GO in the theater next door. In which case you probably don't have
So Thursday
much to do about it.
Thursday you got Shanghai versus San Francisco. Friday. Wait, that seems way later. Oh, these are just upcoming matches. So yeah. Thursday it's the Shock versus the Dragons at 9 p.m. And then let's see. Friday you got the Dallas Fuel versus the Vancouver Titans. Titans played very well during the stage 2. They went 7-0. So you have two. Actually, the only team that's been undefeated in both stages is the Vancouver Titans. So that's a team to watch. And
There
thank
you
you,
go.
Squires, for the bits.
He's the bit
Thank
lord.
you very much. We love just the bits.
Actually, he is the power bottom right now. So don't give him praise.
But I thought,
Nope.
based on the chat, that he's number 1. But based on our leaderboard, he's
No, the leaderboard shows that he's just a basic biatch. He knows his place.
he needs to give us 97 more bits.
We don't value him as a person, only as an ATM of 3-cent transactions.
Yep. So yeah, clearly some Overwatch happening here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're disdain for this game. I love it. One day, we're gonna play this one day, guys. I'm gonna make you guys play Overwatch with me after one of our broadcasts.
I bet it'll be great. I'm so good at this game.
I haven't played in so long.
It's
and
like
I
the
haven't
Sonic
played on
Mania
PC.
effect. Like when I play games that I don't like, I suddenly get really good at them. I'm like, oh my god, I'm great at Overwatch.
Is there a 3-player mode of this?
I think so.
No.
No?
We'll just have to play with randos.
I don't know. Well,
It's
I mean,
okay.
I'm not 100% against the idea, but I don't currently own this game.
All right, fair enough.
man.
Well, no, I mean, oh, look at Junktown. Now he's
Junktown.
ensured that Slayer Bill is the power bottom. Squires, I'm sorry we said that stuff to you. You're not the power bottom anymore. You're a cool guy.
Oh. You're just the party gimp now. Cool guy.
Bumping Squires off the list.
Oh,
Not
it's
even on
it's
the
been a rule that the third place is always the power bottom, and they don't reserve respect for us to acknowledge anything they do.
Yeah, but now
Any
he's
fan of
not.
the channel would know. Yeah, no, he's not the power bottom anymore. So
He's happy
So-
about that. Thanks,
Yeah.
Junktown.
thank you, Junktown. You are the vice president of Top Boys.
Mhm.
Just a real winner.
So yeah, the Paris Eternal. How about them? That's the team that kid ghosted them on the high fives.
Yeah, exactly.
They
It
deserved
looks
it.
like they've. Yeah, it looks like they haven't been cursed by it or anything like that.
I don't know, man. 2-5 this stage. Not really.
I don't know. Notre Dame burned down.
Yeah, that too.
That's true. That's probably because
Ha, got him.
Fives.
Well, if you guys don't want to stay on Overwatch too long, we do have another bit of actual uplifting, heartfelt, nice news from the esports scene. I'll play a little clip for you guys here.
No way.
Actually,
be
I want to
listening
say
to
one
this?
more thing.
Yes.
To Rita,
Okay.
I don't think she's gonna need translating for what I'm gonna say.
Oh, yeah, I
I
saw
hope
that.
she understands.
Duh.
Aw.
PUBG.
Ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful death, and Rita, a big congratulations. Amazing. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
And then someone shot them and took the ring out of the box and went on to finish the match.
Aw, how sweet. And they got some balloons and some rock and roll played.
It's almost like this was planned ahead of
Now
time.
they're all dead.
Yeah, with that giant overlay of hearts. Yeah, it seems like this might have been planned.
All right, guys. So it's about that time here, and I didn't intentionally bring it up earlier, but it just kind of happened. But it goes good into what we need to talk about. So there was a little bit of talk earlier. Bayo's here; he might like this. We brought up one Kirk Cameron,
Yeah.
the Banana Man himself. So there's some people maybe that aren't as high on Kirk Cameron as maybe some of the people here in this show. I don't know, but there's some damning evidence against Kirk.
How do you get high on Kirk Cameron?
I
Let's
don't
just
know.
say
Is
I
that
gotta.
like Jenkum? How does that work?
Let's just say I've got a clip here,
I ain't smoking no Camerons.
and you can watch it and tell me what you think. So you'll need the audio for this. Just a short clip,
Right.
and it explains what you need to know about Kirk Cameron, the person, and the character he
Right.
played, Mike Seaver.
Mike, Eddie, and Boner have nothing to do on a Friday night. They're loitering in a pizza place, and the best thing these broke losers can come up with is park outside a drive-thru movie. They bump into an old pal, Roland, who's in college now. Roland's picking up a bunch of pizzas for a party that has no parents, a ton of babes, and a heated pool. They offer to carry his pizzas, then drop to their knees and beg to come to this party. Roland brings them to a huge house with plenty of drinks and food, and women all over the place. This shit is poppin' off. Mike, Eddie, and Boner quickly realize they are in way over their heads with these awesome hot people, and promise each other to keep cool. Boner goes to the bathroom, and
seen
when a
this one.
conga line comes out, tells his friends rich people must use the bathroom in groups. This Cookie Monster sweater-wearing hottie is throwing flirty eyes. Mike steps up to take his shot, and blows on her hair. Jesus Christ, Mike. He stammers through some weak game, but she says he's cute because she's nice and also high on drugs. Rhonda asks Mike if he wants to go to the bathroom with her. He says no because he's dense, and she apologizes
So great.
because he probably thinks she's just after his stash. She says it's her treat and pulls out a cute little cocaine keychain.
Thought his best friend's
Amazing.
name was
She
Boner.
asks if Mike is cool.
Been a
Mike
long
says yes,
time.
but it's clear as day that shit's a lie. Rhonda says it's their turn, and Mike covers by saying he can't go to the bathroom because he has to go to the bathroom. Smooth. Mike bumps into Lana and warns her. There's cocaine at this party. She says, yeah, I hope so, because it's Friday goddamn night in 1987. Officer Seaver alerts his friends. Psst, fellas, there's
Mike
snow
is
on
such
these here
a narc.
mountains, and points to the funnest bathroom in a 50-mile radius. He tells his friends they're not interested in coke, and they kinda agree, but say they are interested in girls like Lana. Mike says Lana does Rick James nose aerobics, and he thought she was cool. Eddie tells Mike to slow down, because lots of cool people also use cocaine. And when Mike says that stuff kills, Eddie very accurately says it will not hurt them to use it once with these college babes. Mike can't believe what he's hearing, because all it takes is one time doing blow with hot girls at a party to ruin your life forever. Boo! Who? Also a B story about watching movies at home. Who
Lots
the
of cool
fuck
people
cares?
also
Back
use
to the
cocaine.
Coke party. This Coke party rules. The coolest. But it's wasted on these losers who are posted in the corner discussing whether or not they should do free drugs. Boner suggests it's fine if they do Coke as long as they're home by 10, which is a good plan on paper, but admittedly has a few holes in it. Christy goddamn Swanson comes down the stairs, laughing her coked out nipples off because her parents would be so upset if they found out about this party. Because it's their Coke. Marriage material. Mike's about to scold her for being an angel sent from heaven when Eddie steps in to introduce himself and Boner. The polite thing to do at parties, you dingus. Rhonda suggests they all do drugs together. Jackpot. And Lana runs over saying the hot tub is perfect. And it will be even more perfect after they all get yacked out of their skulls. The hot college girls with rhyming names are beckoning these dorks to come do their bathroom drugs. Dream scenario. But Mike has his arms folded like a narc. He says he's not in the mood. They ask what gives. Mike says he's never done Coke. They say they'll be gentle because their hospitality knows no bounds. But Mike pouts, I don't want to do Coke. And the party stops. Nerd alert. They laugh in his face and say they're going to check on that hot tub. Mike's ready to bail, but when his friends want to stay because they're not morons, Mike throws a hissy fit and storms out of there. Destiny awaits for Eddie and Boner. Mike comes home way past his curfew and tells his dad the whole pathetic story. He went to the best party ever, and he didn't do drugs, and everyone now knows he's a loser. His dad says the only person he has to please is himself, which is especially accurate because the only action Mike's going to be getting in the foreseeable future is of the 5-knuckle variety. Mike's dad says Eddie and Boner called to say they didn't go to the bathroom and they don't want to, because his best friends had the decency to lie to him about doing cocaine with hotties after he left. And the show ends with a very weird straight-to-camera, wall-breaking PSA from Kirk Cameron. And if you didn't want to do drugs before this mess, you certainly do after. So what did we learn today? If you beg someone to take you and your lame friends to a party, and it turns out to be the best party ever, be cool. And if a beautiful older woman and her friend offers you free drugs in a hot tub, do the free drugs in the hot tub. Don't stand around all, well, golly gee whiz, fellas, this stuff is bad news. Because there's a time and a place for this shit. And it's Friday night at a house party in 1987. And don't make your friends feel bad when they decide to do the right thing. And if you have the best time of your life after your sulky friend leaves, be courteous and call his dad in the middle of the night to tell a coked out lie so he feels better about being a dingus. See you next time on a very special episode.
I have actually seen that.
I felt that was important to share so that we understand where Kirk Cameron's coming from.
No, I've watched quite a few of those Funny or Die videos. The Zach Morris's Trash series is great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love Zach Morris's trash.
But they spun that off. They spun that off into a very special episode, and they go into a lot of different shows. I even remember making that video, says Bayo. Oh man. Yeah, it looks like the riot walkout happened.
Nice. Yeah, people. I heard people are speaking at it. Like there are a few people that are going to be talking to the crowd. I don't know. I imagine that there's probably local news there, possibly covering it. I don't know.
Seems like there is someone from Kotaku on the ground.
Oh.
Cecilia D'Anastasio is there. It appears that it is going on.
Are we reporting on their live reporting? Live? That would be
That's
brilliant.
kind of what we're doing right now. But yeah, there's I just would recommend people to check out hashtag Riot Walkout if you're on Twitter. I'm guessing it would be on Facebook too, but
yeah, no, it's Twitter is where you see all the trending hashtags.
yeah. Do people Facebook? You guys Facebook. 2.38 billion people
Riot.
Facebook.
Yeah.
But Riot
Over
Walkout
100
was trending on Twitter.
Over 100 employees have walked out.
Mm-hmm. So good for them. And I hope that actual change happens.
Like Vice might be there too, because about the time they wake up.
That ain't right.
It's a good one though. It's a good one.
You got him. You got him.
That was solid. That was a solid jab.
Yeah, that's good.
So I don't know, Blake, if you got to see the end of the stream last week.
I don't think I did. What was the end of the stream last week?
You were too busy in a hot tub with chicks post show.
Oh man.
Not pulling a Seaver. So
you are not being Michael Seaver.
Yeah, so
I'm glad that you guys think that's what happens.
Well, that's fine. I'll believe anything.
I'll let you believe it.
So
Let us believe that.
We have been looking at some cooking and stuff like that here and there the last few weeks, and Asif was kind enough to bless us with exclusive footage from cooking with Mom, and we got to see a home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
From the homestead.
Yeah. We actually have a video of my mom making 2 dishes.
So I highly recommend for Blake and those that weren't here last week to check out the VOD of last week's WWES to catch this amazing footage. It was possibly the greatest moment in WWES history. Almost 12 weeks in, and it definitely goes on the Mount Rushmore of things that happened on this show.
What was baked? What was made?
Oh, I would say we had some curry chicken. And what was the beef dish called?
It's called keema.
Keema.
It's ground. It's like spicy ground beef and rice.
Oh yeah.
We also had some people in chat throw some shade also for not getting his mom a nicer cooktop, but apparently the video is old, and that has since been remedied.
Yep, the kitchen has been updated slightly since then. We don't want to put too much money into this place because it's a house in Northeast Ohio, you know. But no, that stovetop's been completely redone.
Well, with that said, I figure we might as well jump into a recipe or two today, since that's kind of what we do once we get towards the back half.
The sauce talk portion of the show.
I've got some stuff for sauce talk.
All right, let us know. Hit us with it.
Did you? I don't know if you want to pull up my Instagram.
You got a link?
Yeah, I can probably find a link to my own Instagram.
Because I still don't know how to find the Shacknews Instagram, and I've given up hope. I'm not social media savvy.
So I'll just send you a link to the photo. I think here we go. But this in Savory, so the last show of the tour was on that first Fridays in Oakland, and it's like a big outdoor, arts and crafts fair with a bunch of different vendors selling food, art, shirts, all that stuff. And this was right outside the club we were playing at. It was fried chicken and cupcakes. That
on a skewer. I love it.
Yeah, that is that's boneless chicken, and I had them drizzle hot sauce and their homemade maple syrup sauce on this stuff.
So, is that chicken, and then cupcake?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a maple bacon cupcake. But they had other cupcakes. I could have gotten red velvet or something like that, but I'm like, nah, this fits.
So it's like chicken, and then you eat the cupcake? Or
That's how I did it. That's how I did it. I probably could have taken the cupcake out and eaten it all at once.
This is the sitting in a hot tub, coked out with hot chicks of eating food. So you basically did the same thing.
Yeah, this is basically what Boner and that other dude did.
Yeah, they were pretty crazy guys.
I would have loved to hear the recording of Boner and Eddie calling Alan Thicke at 4 a.m. to explain that they didn't boof out those chicks.
Yeah. So hey, Kirk Cameron's dad. We definitely did not do all that cocaine. Yeah.
It's okay, boys. I know what it's all about. I just can't be honest about it in front of Mike and my wife. Yeah, there's no way Alan Thicke was not all up in that. He was the only cool person on that show.
They were probably calling Alan Thicke to come over.
Oh yeah, that was his house that they filmed that in. Those were his. That was his party.
Well, this looks pretty damn delicious, Blake. So was it good?
Oh yeah, it was good. I think I wanted more sauce, honestly.
It's always good to have sauce on the side of chicken.
Yeah,
It's
like
just
I
a
wish
little
I'd
bit
had,
more.
like if I just had something to like dip it in or something like that. We also have we also have like a famous chicken and waffle place in Oakland that's really good. But it's always super crowded. This is open late though. But then the other thing I had was I went to this place called Fred's in Sausalito, and they make what they call they used to call it millionaire bacon, but now they call it Fred's sweet bacon, and it's thick cut bacon that's got like a maple candy coat over it with some pepper, like some spice as well. And it's kind of the greatest bacon I've ever had. I have a bacon tattoo. So
That says a lot.
I know. Yeah, so I know bacon from bacon, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So this is epic bacon. And the sauce on it is ridiculous.
Well, this definitely qualifies for sauce talk then.
Yeah. Oh, their scrambled eggs are just fluffy clouds. They're just fluffy clouds of eggs.
You could just dive right into the tray of them.
Yeah, they taste like magic. I don't know. This place is magical. I eat there maybe every 2 or 3 months. Yeah, and if you like brunch or breakfast food, they also have a deep fried French toast with cornflakes, like a cornflake batter. They put a little lemon zest on that. I got the lemon ricotta pancakes this time. I hadn't had those before, and they were ginormous. They were just ginormous. I couldn't finish it all, and I am a fat man, so I usually finish what's on my plate. So that was it. Now it's just back on the diet.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it so long. We were supposed to. I'm a little bummed. I was supposed to do this thing called Cinco de Sizzler yesterday, and it did not happen. Everybody bailed on me. I had like a group of friends, and we're like, "All right, we're gonna go to Cinco de Sizzler. We're gonna go there on Cinco de Mayo. We're gonna Sizzler out." I haven't been to Sizzler since I was 13, and like we were ready to like do some.
You guys were planning that for like 2 months.
Your friends sound like losers.
I think I have a feeling that I'm the loser here.
Why? Because you still wanted to go?
Because they
were the losers. Cinco de Sizzler sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of it.
It
was a lot though.
Year.
Yeah.
Well, you can do it again in June because there will be a 5th day of June. Although is that E3? I can't remember.
I can pretty much do it the 5th day of any month.
Right. So there's potential here.
It would be cool to do it the day after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, people usually are hungover that day.
Yeah.
Be a good day to go to Sizzler.
Yeah. People got it off usually too. I don't even know. That's like a Friday. Yeah. The only reason I know that is because I have to go to TennoCon. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, I get to spend my birthday in London, Ontario.
Are you gonna hang out with Bill Lavoie at least?
I hope so. I have my
You guys could
crossed.
do Cinco de Sizzler together.
They have Sizzlers in Canada.
We'll find out what the Canadian equivalent is.
But Tim Hortons, they got Tim Hortons. That's all they got. As far as the eye can see.
They do have a lot of Tim Hortons.
Yeah, they're everywhere, man. But yeah, that's my sauce talk for this week. It's maple syrup on fried chicken and sweet succulent maple syrup on most
Well,
delicious
it's
bacon
clear
ever.
that you ate the best food any of us ate this week.
Yeah, Krabs, I got a video for our random video segment. I'm gonna throw it in the live stream channel.
All right.
I'm gonna get a link to Fred's place for y'all.
But yeah, Mason threw this in chatty just now, and it seems kind of cool. It seems relevant to our interests.
Control C, Control V.
Man, these people are shitting all over my thread about Wendy's Nuggets. It's almost like they don't really believe that it was up to a Twitter.
It's because they're all fucking losers.
Seriously. Even one of them Riptide used the hashtag wet blanket.
Towards who?
To me. I guess regarding himself. Oh, we got a whole list of people for the power rankings.
Oh, no. You got that list where you sit there in your room at night and you mark out the names in lipstick like Steve Buscemi and
No, I just keep it on my phone. I keep the 3 worst Shackers of the week on my phone.
That sounds
Arby's,
healthy.
here I come, says Bayo. Bayo, not Arby's, Wendy's. No, you can go to Arby's too. It's fine.
They sent me. I ordered Wendy's for dinner last night. They sent me Junior Cheeseburger Deluxes instead of bacon cheeseburger.
Wait, they sent it to you like through UPS?
Through DoorDash.
DoorDash.
What the hell?
You can't. I know it sounds like it sounds crazy, Krabs, but people get delivery of fast food now with apps.
Look,
and then they complain when they screw up. But you're not that far from Wendy's. I know you have parking issues and stuff, but yeah, I drove to Wendy's today, and they got my order right.
Well, I think Ramadan started this weekend, right?
Yes, I'm a filthy infidel.
No, that just means there's no parking ever in my.
Oh yeah, he lives right across from a mosque.
Yeah.
So you're especially screwed this month.
Yeah, I can't move my car at all. I have to drive to Burlingame tomorrow. I'm worried.
Yep. You're done.
Can
you hire people to save parking spots for? Is there like an Uber for parking?
There's no. Sadly, although there is this really weird, messed up trend going on in San Francisco now, where people pay for parking and set up desks in the freaking parking spaces. I'm not even kidding you. And
that's what I was talking about. You need to do that for your spot.
No.
You need a guy to stand there and sell lemonade until you get back.
That would be fantastic.
Synergy.
Right? I'm probably just going to bite the bullet and pay for a parking space. If there is one. I don't even know if there's a parking space available in the lot where I live. So, but one thing's for sure. It's $10 cheaper than paying a parking ticket a month.
Maybe you should move to Nebraska.
Yeah, maybe I should. What's in Nebraska? Are you there, Chris?
No.
Wendy's that'll get your order right.
I'm not going to make that promise.
I'm just saying maybe.
Are you moving to Nebraska with me? Because that sounds like a TV show.
That's a sitcom.
Yeah.
2 crazy guys.
We share a twin bed.
Moving to Nebraska.
It's like Mike and Molly if Molly had a giant beard.
It's like A Simple Life, except with dudes that have beards instead of heiresses.
It's like 2 broke girls meets Mike and Molly, meets 2.5 men, meets 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place. Friends. Seinfeld.
Meets Uncle Dutch.
Meets the Shield.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. Yeah, meets Uncle Buck.
That was a movie though.
Whatever. It's my fantasy. I can have John Candy in it if I want to.
They did do a spin-off series of it though recently.
meets silk stockings.
Hey,
Yes.
Bad Kitty 64.
It's Pacific Blue.
And Baywatch. Nebraska
All right.
Baywatches would be a show.
Nebraska Baywatch.
Wait. What bay?
Oh man.
It's just a retention pond somewhere.
It's a quarry.
Public pool. A public pool.
Yeah, it's a
It's a
Ramada
pond.
Inn pool somewhere off the interstate.
A swimming hole, is that what you're talking about?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Alright, so what sauces are rocking your sauce talk?
I mean, I was waiting on this link from Briefcase and it never happened, so I just feel like
It's
he
in
was
the live
lying.
stream channel.
Oh, I thought it was like, man.
It's in Slack. You want it in Twitch chat?
No, I'll go look for it. Oh, this looks legit.
It looks kind of promising.
Let's hope it doesn't have any hate speech in it.
Yeah, it has not been vetted, so.
Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day.
See?
Today's
Hey,
question
that-
is fascinating. How hard can you
Golf
hit
ball
a golf
hit.
ball? That seems like a really simple question, but it's very complex. For example, think about this. When a golf club is swung and it comes in contact with a ball at some relative velocity,
Are golf
there's
balls
an
full of rubber
elastic
bands?
collision that takes place. The ball squishes and then it uses that stored energy to rebound off the club. Well, here's one way
Maybe
to
they
rephrase the
used to
question.
be.
At what
I don't
point
think anymore.
does that ball no longer return?
What's this? I'm
to
not
its original
paying.
shape?
I don't got my
It goes from
sound
an
on.
elastic
Is this guy talking about what
deformation
happens
to
when a golf
plastic
ball hits
deformation. I'm not
club?
good at golf, but I thought a really fun
And
how?
Is this guy the son of Noah Emmerich?
See how hard I can squish the ball.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that golf ball versus this golf ball. Golf
For
balls
me, this is
change
pretty
when you
decent
hit
contact,
them.
but obviously
There we
it's
go.
not
Club.
hard enough.
There
it's
you
time to move on
go.
to the Happy Gilmore technique.
I just hit the ball like behind me. How does that even work?
Okay.
Number one, I can't swing this club fast enough, no matter how much I Happy Gilmore. And number two,
That
I
guy
can't get good,
is just
consistent
trying to
contact
hit a
with the
golf ball.
To try to solve
He's not
this, I'm
very
working with
good.
my buddy Mark Rober. He's a YouTuber and an
How do we get to
engineer,
the
and we
cool
teamed
part?
up with Wix to actually build
I
several
mean, I
devices
didn't
to try to
pre-vet
solve
this
our
one, so I'm
problem.
not
If you
sure.
don't know who Mark Rober is, I'm going to need you to fix that right now. He's an
Yeah,
awesome
Asif,
engineer.
what's the mark?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just saw the link and was like, oh my god. Here we go. This is going places. The Super Soaker. Okay.
Wait,
There
what
we
happened
go.
to the Super Soaker? What was?
But now we're going places.
From like an engineering achievement actually working is like, oh, look at the flame.
Are these like MythBuster people?
Yeah, like the Mythbusters of hitting things with rockets attached to them, I guess.
It was
Like
an
if the
absolutely
MythBusters
amazing
just got
project. So
really,
obviously
really
go watch that whole
high.
video over on Mark's
Or
channel.
like, what if we hit a golf ball with
The
rockets?
pros can. We still didn't come close to
That's
the
pretty
mechanical limits
freaking
of the
awesome,
golf
actually.
ball. Instead of hitting the ball with a club,
That
we're going
is
to hit the club
pretty
with a
awesome.
ball.
Where'd that golf ball
Remember
go?
David from the Vortex
That's what I wanna
collision
know.
video? This time I've asked David to build
Killed a lady
vacuum
2
that
Back
pounds
to
can
this
over.
drive
guy.
the ball hundreds of miles an
Oh
hour
my
without
goodness.
using explosives. Here's how the thing works. The barrel is just barely big enough for the golf ball to slide inside. So we push
I don't
it
know, I
all
thought
the
it
way
was
to the back
interesting
of the
enough.
tube and we seal up
That
both
was-
ends.
yeah, that
We're,
was
If
we're
you
still
hold a
learning.
vacuum on the inside of the tube, nature
Are we learning
affords
about
vacuum.
golf
So if you
balls? What are they
Oh,
doing
so
now?
They're going to try to shoot the
atmosphere,
ball
all
into the
air
club.
will rush into the pipe and it'll push the golf ball down the tube. This creates stupid fast velocities. We're talking
What's
hundreds
in
of
the
miles
Golf
tube?
an
clubs
hour.
with
To
freaking
make
jets
it fire even
attached to
faster
them.
than
Yep,
that,
that's
we put a positive pressure
That's
tank
it.
on the backside and we pressurize it with air so we can fire the golf ball at over
Hmm.
500 miles an hour.
They're trying to crush.
So you pressurize
Are they just trying to shoot a golf ball
and
as
then we
far
have a
as they
vacuum.
can?
No, they're trying to see how hard you can hit a
And then
golf
we
ball,
have
and
the
they
burst
decided
just in
that they're going
between.
out the wrong way
And
by
then once
trying to hit the
hot
ball.
water melts,
So they want to put the ball
film, then
to
that
be
pressurized
fired
air will
into
run in
the
there,
head of the
and
club
there's no air
because
in
they
here,
can
so
make the
there's no
force much
drag.
greater by shooting the ball at 500 miles an hour rather than trying to make a club swing at 500 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Oh.
that's like what proportional to the velocity
So
squared.
they're gonna shoot the ball at the club.
Massive speeding.
Yes.
Exactly.
So to start
That
off, we
doesn't
wanted to take
seem
the stiffness of the club out of the equation by using something that's pretty much rigid.
This looks like a cartoon.
I get the reasoning.
It's funny because piece by piece, this is all
Like,
coming
we just
together. Like
smoked
at first I just
a
saw
little
cannon,
edgy
then I
kush.
saw the anvil,
Now
and
we're
I'm thinking,
gonna
where are we gonna stand? And then
make
I
the
look
golf
over here.
ball hit the thing, and I think it's gonna be science. All right, let's do it.
If we get a vapor cloud that comes out here,
like
this will
they
strip that away, and
It's
hopefully the ball will
busted,
go straight
bro.
through.
They got
and
a
we'll
little.
hit right
I like
here.
their little
And
fallout shelters that they build.
record that with the
Gotta be safe.
Phantom at what are we at? 100
Gotta have.
frames per second. All right, so
Are
100
those
psi
Kevlar?
here.
So they're shooting this at an anvil, crabs. This is not at a club anymore.
Yeah, they just explained why, because they were being limited by the material that the club is made out of.
Oh, okay.
How many pounds of pressure?
We're gonna find out.
Why are they doing this inside?
Whoa! The amount of compression there, I've never
I have
seen
all sorts
anything
of questions
like
for
that.
these people.
The ball, that stop motion ball
I bet
animation
the
was,
back of the golf
it was
ball.
like
I bet that's the weak part.
We then decided to cut a slit in the ball and see if the outer shell of the ball was what was holding
pretty damn
everything
resilient
together.
ball.
Shaka boom.
3, 2,
Science.
You
Take
gotta-
3. What? What did I just see him sawing into the ball?
Yeah. They're just trying to break it now. I think they're just being creepy.
There you go.
It's very hot.
Yeah. Look at it like
They couldn't break that ball unless they sawed it open.
They didn't saw it to break it. They wanted to see if they could make it flex farther if the back of the ball was preventing that.
2, 1.
Super damaged ball.
It's moving the table.
How
Very
fast?
All these interesting
There's the money
interactions
shot.
that we're seeing play out on the golf ball, that's a result of an area of physics called material science. What we want to do is we want to explore
What's
that a
in
little
there?
bit immediately when forces apply.
Rubber ball.
Here you can see the difference between the foam
The
practice
inside.
ball and a normal ball. You can see that the practice ball is designed to absorb as much energy as possible so you can practice your swing without the balls leaving your yard or knocking out a window. I
Well,
decided to
thank
shoot
you.
both of these balls against glass
Thank you,
at much lower
Amusatron.
velocity to not break it, just to see what happens at the exact spot
I mean, that
where it
golf ball
impacts.
isn't.
If you play them in sync, you
Okay,
can see
others
just how
aren't.
much faster the golf
One
ball
might be full of
rebounds off
gold
the
doubloons.
glass. This is the magic
We
of
really
golf
don't know
design.
what
You wanna
every
absorb
golf
as
ball
much
is full of.
energy as possible during the collision without getting
I'm
to
pretty
One of
sure
it-
none of them have
and
gold
then you wanna release
doubloons.
that energy by
They might be full of
efficiently and
malarkey.
rapidly bouncing away.
Joe
From moving
Biden.
around with this stuff, we've learned that golf ball impacts will result in
Joe
an
Biden might
elastic
be in one?
collision up
Is
to
that
about
what you're
300
saying?
miles an hour, which is
This
why
is-
it was able
isn't
to
that his
handle the
go-to
rocket
saying?
club without any.
Malarkey.
Malarkey? Is it? I mean,
I think so.
I don't know that much about Joe Biden. I know that he was vice president.
Mm-hmm.
We now understand how golf balls work, but we
Barack
don't
Obama and
understand the
him
mechanical
were
limits
bros.
of the driver. There's only one way to
That's
figure
right.
this out, and that is to shoot a golf ball at 500 miles
Well,
an
that could have
hour
been rubber
against
bands.
the driver.
That old ball.
Guy, do we need to watch any more of this?
I'm learning.
I don't know. This seems like science is still happening.
So they just fired it into a club.
Why? That seems silly and stupid. And they broke the club.
So the ball is stronger than the club.
Why would you do that?
Just to see.
This is science.
This is science.
Dang, dude.
Why?
Look at that.
So much for your titanium alloys now. Oh, golf clubs.
Jeez,
That can't be titanium though, right? Titanium,
Oh,
you
look
think
at the club face.
this is hollow.
Yeah, they're hollow.
Jeez.
Okay, so we're gonna do another shot, but Mark had an idea to put an anvil behind.
Harder every day.
Genius idea. The golf club here, but immediately behind it we have the anvil, and the idea is that instead of this thing moving back because it's transferring momentum into the club, we're just going to make mechanical deformation the only way to absorb the energy.
How amazing would it be if it embeds
What?
it way
So they're
back
putting
here,
this in
but
front of an
it feels like it's
anvil.
gonna be more
Yeah, they
likely
want
it's
to
gonna come
just
and
have the
bounce back out.
deformation of the material be the only thing that absorb the energy rather than the club going back and having the rod absorb it and the cloth absorb it.
Awesome.
Okay. Got it. Oh, this is definitely science still.
They're so science.
Anyone secretly hoping that the ball just bounces and tags one of them in the nuts at some point?
Oh yeah, I've been hoping that one of them. Whenever you watch anything like this, you're just praying that somebody gets injured doing something stupid.
Okay, it's Mark
It would've
Rubber. He
been
can't
in
make a
the
video without
video.
using watermelon.
Wow, so that
Yeah.
twisted
That's
it
his thing.
backwards.
We get a golf ball going like stupid miles an
Yeah,
hour.
I don't
We
know.
agree it's going to go through the watermelon.
Oh no, I guess golf balls
The question is,
are
does it go through the tarp?
the
Yeah,
world's strongest
antimatter.
substance.
They have
Yeah.
antimatter at the center.
Can a watermelon stop a golf ball?
Okay, now it's turning
Oh
into a
my god.
This is totally a Gallagher nod. What? I knew this
Holy
would
crap.
be a good video.
Holy crap! Did a golf ball
Mark.
just explode a watermelon?
Mm-hmm.
That's outstanding.
Holy cow!
There is no
Devastated.
chunk larger than like 2 inches.
That's awesome. That's the monkey
This
shot.
watermelon where?
As we face a food shortage
So it
and
came out of
impoverished
the
third
cannon.
world
Oh,
countries.
whatever.
Through a tarp, through a moving blanket,
Ah,
hit that,
geez.
and then somehow
Yeah,
You don't know. They might have eaten
Over
that
this bag.
after
There's
this.
one on the ceiling
you're right. I
outside.
bet they're eating it off the ground right now.
Inelastic
Probably.
collision. All right, I hope you enjoyed this.
They seem like
collaboration between
scientists.
They're
that
going
would-
to be
that would-
scraping watermelon off of this room for the next 30 years. Speaking of someone who's disintegrated a potato. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was awesome. Way to go, Mason. Thanks for the share.
That was a good video. You guys ready for a little bit of Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Mamma mia. So yeah, I've been on tour for like the last couple of weeks. And this is my first day back.
Today we make a chicken marsala.
But yeah, it's been an interesting.
What's he making today?
Chicken marsala.
Delicious. One of my favorite kinds of chicken. Oh man, I need to watch this afterwards. You're gonna have to send me a link to this one, Chris. Need this.
I got over
recipe.
here the breasted chicken, a pint already.
Nice
and I
masala
put
sauce.
Salt and black pepper.
Ooh,
I slice
mushrooms.
over
That
here
looks
the
so
baby
good.
bella mushroom I want to use.
Does this guy have a restaurant yet? Can we just go to his
No.
restaurant?
I got over here some flour.
Is it to
and
go to his
put
house?
Salt and
Can I
black
buy?
pepper.
Can I buy
I got a
cans
chicken
of his
broth.
backyard sauce?
I got marsala.
don't
I
think
got
so.
use butter. And I got over here garlic I
Oh.
chopped already. I got shallot,
That makes me sad.
parsley, and I got thyme.
I just want to drown
Okay, now we started with the mushroom.
in his
First,
marinara.
we put oil. Look at the beautiful oil I got over here. I leave it warm up a little bit to the oil.
Look at that
We
chopping
put the
technique.
Shallot
It is solid.
and the garlic.
Oh, that olive oil pour
And
every
we leave
time.
it cook a little bit.
essential.
The shallot and
Do you have
the
a
garlic.
stroke or something though?
No, he's just Italian.
What does that mean?
You know what it
I don't
means.
understand.
I
Now
don't either.
we got the baby bella.
That means when you're here,
we
you're
put it
family.
right over here inside.
That was a fuck ton of olive oil.
And
You're
we
so
put a
right,
nice
Musitron.
turn on
He's
this.
very liberal with his most sauces and ingredients.
Little
Like when he
salt.
grabs, like watch when he grabs salt. It's just
Yeah,
like
I got
ah,
a
handful
black
of
pepper.
salt. Be fine. See?
A little turn. Now this, you don't gotta cook it too much. The only thing I saute a little bit, cause after this, you gotta go together with the chicken. Okay, now this it's done. After we put it together, I put it right over here on the side, turn the gas off, and leave over here. And now we start with the chicken. Now for the chicken, I put a little olive oil, olio di oliva, and I put a piece of garlic.
That into the culinary
the garlic
stuff.
You gotta start to jump a little bit. And I like to put a little piece of butter.
Asif, what about you?
Now we start with the chicken.
Not like
I want to turn the flour, I put salt and black pepper.
Yeah, I do.
We turn a little bit. And this is the chicken. Look how beautiful chicken.
It's tough when you don't have a lot of time.
Making sure the flour really good.
Prep stuff and everything, and then you have to clean afterwards. But
And
yeah,
we
I
put
try.
it right over here in this pot.
I got me a little Foreman grill, so that can be nice.
Yeah, I got more.
I have one of those too. I just realized I forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer today, though. That's what this video is reminding me.
There's still time.
Oh man. It would take too long. I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll cook the chicken
We put
tomorrow.
a little bit of olive oil. Empties half the bottle.
Now we'll leave it cook this a couple of minutes, both sides.
The
we gotta
got
make a nice,
shrimps,
beautiful color.
Cajun shrimp scampi.
We can definitely take a look at that.
Okay, now we flip the other way.
Oh, mamma mia.
Got the color of the chicken. It's really good. And we do the same thing on the other side. All right. Now we leave it stay a couple of more minutes on the other side. It have to be ready for
You want
the
to make sure the chicken
marsala.
is
Okay, now
chicken,
before you
and
put the
then flip it.
marsala, make sure to load down the gas. Cause this it's no
Then just give it a
restaurant
little-
with a big fan and
shake it a little.
everything. 'Cause this it's a house.
so it knows
And
who's
I don't
boss.
want to be the house in fire.
What's he pouring
this
in?
It's the marsala now.
The marsala.
Ah,
Okay. Now we leave it cook with the marsala a little more. Okay, get evaporated the marsala.
I mean,
After we got over here,
that
the
could be
chicken
anything,
broth.
really.
With the marsala, it give a really good flavor.
Where do you get that?
Okay, now
Probably
back
the
to
Italian
chicken
grocer.
stock. We leave it boil a little bit, and we gotta put the mushroom together.
Oh no, I'm sure. I think he.
you might have made it.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like there might be another video that explains where that came from.
It was just his urine.
the mushroom.
It was literally his urine.
Now
It
we gotta
tastes like
load the
olive
flame.
oil.
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta
Oh,
boil
here we go.
really low.
Here come the
slow.
mushrooms.
And the chicken, you gotta come out really nice tender, nice
This
juicy.
guy's like the Bob Ross.
Okay,
of-
now I like to put a
Italian
little
cooking.
parsley to give a nice color. And I got over here the thyme. And we give a nice like this, turn, that put all over the place. Now it's a little
And you
liquid.
just let that
And
reduce?
what I do, I got a little extra chicken broth over here.
It's
I put
usually
little flour
wine. So
right
of
over
course
here
it
like this. And you gotta make sure the scramble really good. You do the way I do like this.
But could you use
Okay, no
Italian
crumble
grandpa urine
inside the one
instead
you
of wine?
put. This you gotta make the gravy more thick.
Oh, look at him with the
Now
tiny
we
little
cook this
whisker and the
really
little.
low.
Oh, he's so adorable.
Italian man urine and wine basically the same.
Okay.
Oh,
now
no.
the chicken is ready.
I think
We
there's a little
done,
more
and now we bring
oregano
right over
and,
here on
like,
the table.
cigarette
Now,
smoke.
I want to taste my chicken
And
marsala.
in the marsala.
Now I want to take one piece. And I want to taste.
This guy,
Look
oh
how
man.
beautiful look.
I just want to wrap
Hey,
him
look
up with
at
a
the gravy.
blanket on the
Nice
couch with
gravy.
a TV guide and a remote and just say, you just sit here.
Put a little
I'm gonna take care of
parsley on the top.
of everything. I'm gonna clean up. You just relax.
Tender this chicken, a little mushroom.
Like I am cleaning this man's house after every meal.
This looks so good.
The chicken it melt in your mouth.
When he's sleeping, just kiss
Not
him
in
on the
your mouth.
forehead.
It melt in my mouth.
Get a good whiff. Really get a good whiff.
Salute.
You know?
E chin chin.
Take a nice long inhale.
Somebody make
yeah.
The top of his head.
Yeah.
Or something you.
Really soak it in, you know? Try and get some of that essence.
Back to my channel today. We're gonna
All right, this is the Cajun scampi pasta.
So is he a really tiny man, or is that a really big wine glass?
It's a big glass.
It's a big
you salt your water.
Could be both.
He works hard. He plays hard.
Make sure you check out
Oh
all
my
the
God,
pasta
this
videos.
looks
I got a ton of them.
ridiculous, Court Adjuster.
I'll link them below. Anyway, salt your water and drop your pasta in that boiling water. Okay, make sure that you check the ingredient box.
Who is your friend?
Description box below for all the ingredients. I just seasoned my salmon really good with some Cajun seasoning. I patted it on there real good to get it sopped up in the creases and the crevices and everything. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of oil to my pan. Make sure it is screaming hot, and I'm going to lay the salmon down in there.
My goodness.
Once I lay the salmon down in there, don't move the salmon and just season it on the other side. You know why you got to season it on the other side? Because, baby, you eat both sides, okay? Let it sit there for about 5 minutes. Well, no, 2 to 3 minutes, I'll say. Then flip it over. Get that
One of the
nice
guys from his
crustation up in
Final
there, that
Fantasy
flavor sopped
14
up,
Discord
just like
channel.
That Cajun season up in there.
Thanks, Court the Jester's
Cook
friends
for
from the
about
Final
6 to
Fantasy
7
14
minutes if you want it
Discord
well
channel.
done. Okay, then I took
My
my shrimp and
goodness.
just patted my shrimp dry to remove the moisture. Seasoned them with some
Stovetop
Cajun
kisses.
seasoning. Very easy. All you do is
Got
season both
over
sides, and then you put them in a
188,000
smoking hot pan, just like you did the salmon,
subscribers.
and sear them on both sides for about 1 to 2 minutes.
But
per
does
side.
she have,
While that, we're gonna set it to the side.
does
and,
she have
keep it
a
warm,
hungry
okay, your shrimp and your
boyfriend?
salmon. We're gonna start on the sauce. Really easy,
Nah,
guys. This is a 20-minute
I know
meal.
where she can
I
pick
just
one
melted
up.
some butter, 1 stick of butter, or I
It's
think I have
me.
a stick. It's in the description box. Just make sure y'all check it out. Okay, I melted my butter down, and then I added some.
So if you had
white
Look at that.
between
wine,
her and
okay, because we're gonna make it a
Glozell, who
little
are you
drunk.
choosing?
Okay,
Oh,
Suck dude,
Glozell.
all right. You
What?
can't have scampi
Come on.
without
Yeah,
the
me and
white
her
wine.
could lay in a
Okay,
bathtub
so I
of
put
Fruity
the white
Pebbles.
wine up in there.
Yeah,
Then I
right?
added just a teeny bit
Back
of
off
sugar
my
salt.
lady.
That is optional. You don't
Who
have
needs
to add that.
cooking
Just
when
feel
you
like
could
you give
just
it a
sit in
little
a
something, something.
bathtub
Look.
full of cereal?
Yum. Then I added some garlic and also my lemon juice. Then you're going to add your Cajun seasoning. As you see, I've added my Cajun seasoning right here at
Oh
this
my
point. I
God.
forgot to put that clip in the video. I couldn't find it. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, and then I add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Please, if you can, use freshly grated Parmesan. If not, just make sure you buy the fine grated Parmesan. I add that to the sauce along with some food grass, aka parsley, to
That's
make
a
it look
tub
nice
full
and
of
fancy,
butter.
okay? Like you just did something. You really did nothing, child. It's 20-minute meal.
The whole stick
okay,
of
and you
butter
want to
right
let
there.
that boil for
It is.
about 5 minutes.
cream.
Also, had to mention that I did add some heavy cream to the sauce
About.
in there. If I skip that in the voiceover that I'm doing, I'm
Allow
sorry.
it to boil
But I
for
did add
about
some heavy
5
cream to the
minutes.
sauce. Just make sure you check the recipe description
throw
box
them in
or
the
whatever,
movie.
and it have all the
Movie,
ingredients
right?
in there. Then I add my pasta and I get it tossed up in there and get it
seems
sopped
like
up.
a-
Did y'all
Oh.
see that? That pasta was sopped
Yeah,
up
I
in
don't
that
know
sauce,
what-
baby.
I don't know what font that
Toss your
is.
pasta really good, and we're just gonna plate it up. Really quick, really easy,
way that
guys.
the
Look,
text is
we've
overlaid
already
seems
completed the
like
dish. So I put my pasta down.
Guys,
I took
is it
my
okay
seared
if
salmon, then I
sauce
put all
talk
the
is my
Cajun
favorite
seasoning
part
up
of
in
the
there.
wide world of
Okay, and then
electronics?
I put
It's
that on top of
everyone's
there, just
favorite
like
part.
that. Make it
Data
look nice
shows
and
that it's
cute and pretty,
everybody's
just for
favorite part.
Instagram. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Then I just
Except
add a
for
little bit more
Overwatch League,
grated
that's my
Parmesan up
favorite
in there,
part.
'cause I like a little bit more cheese, okay? And make it look pretty with a little bit of
You just
parsley.
like
And
seeing
that's
me
it. Dinner is
cringe
served. Thank you
every
guys
time we
so
have to
much for
cover
watching.
it.
Make sure you like, share,
I
and
can't even
subscribe this
see you.
video. Be sure to check out my weight loss
You
book and
know.
also my cookbooks and
I can feel it.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Looks so good.
That was an
Hello,
A+
everybody.
recommendation.
Today we make
Yeah, that's
pasta primavera.
That looks damn delicious.
Now we make us some pasta primavera.
Mamma mia. That's what I call Italian. Alright guys, I'm going to be back in just 5 seconds. Don't worry.
Pasta primavera, we gotta use everything nice, vegetable, fresh.
Oh man.
And I got over here nice zucchini, and I slice already.
I love that aspect of the production on his videos where he shows you the end result right at the beginning. Gets you all excited.
I got 1 red pepper.
We do not.
This
have
guy
the
should be.
Italian hand emoji.
No, I'll work on that though. This guy needs to be invited to the E3 booth. You need to hire this guy next year.
Carrots. Now, I
Does he
did
live
the
in LA?
potato
I
peel
doubt
the
it.
carrots. Because the carrots, when you cook, you need more
Where do
time.
you think
Like
he lives?
this, I put it
I
together
bet he's in New
with
Jersey.
everything. It's more
Yeah.
thin. I did the carrots. Fresh
Hmm.
peas. I got mushroom, baby bella mushroom,
Look at those shavings.
garlic.
No, we do not have the Italian hand emoji.
I got
We
my
should.
oye baby.
You should assign that to the Asana board. Make that on the clock.
Oh yeah.
So, can
There
you
we go.
remove
Asparagus.
emotes? How does
This
that
is
work? 'Cause I know we have a
wild
limited amount,
asparagus.
right?
We do have a
Yeah.
limited
Yeah, I
amount. We are
got
still several
tomato.
short of our
This,
limit.
It's the San Marzano tomato.
Yeah,
but
we
it's
can
the
swap
small
things
one.
in and out. What are we adding?
And I got over here
The Italian hand
olive
gesture.
cortecce. Look at
Hey.
this.
Oh man.
This one I cook.
I still
this.
want
It's
my
it's
electronic sports face
Okay, we
added.
start
Yeah, we
with
can do
the
that too.
olive oil. It's
Yeah.
olio di oliva.
Okay,
We
I'll
gotta
add
make
those to the
sure
board.
the oil. It's nice warm. We
That's
gotta
right.
use a little
We have a
extra
board for
oil.
this sort of
I got a
thing.
lot of stuff
It's called
to
hot
put
emote
in.
action.
Now, so you got more stuff for the pour inside. Go ahead.
sauna
It's a
board.
primavera. It's a pasta primavera.
God.
And we start with the garlic.
Man.
Okay.
What was
The
it?
garlic is
Blake
started
face?
I feel
already
like
the
I need to
garlic
get me
started
one of these
smelling
ceramic
really,
pots. This thing looks like it's the
And make
best.
sure to not burn the garlic.
Oh,
Okay, now
ceramic
we
pots are
started with the
fantastic.
I bet they don't make that one anymore.
red pepper.
You know what I just got, and I'm really looking
And
forward to
we
using
give a
it,
nice-
is pressure cooker.
Turn
Yeah,
pepper,
I know some good
1
Instapot
minute.
videos.
The pepper it's more hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll show you.
It's
I'll
like
show you.
all
I'll
your
show you the
baby
best pot roast one.
This it's the Italian long
I don't know.
cut
John
pepper.
nailed it. He is in New
Okay,
Jersey.
now this it's really quick to go.
You can just
And
tell.
we go with the zucchini.
The probabilities were pretty high.
We give a nice turn on the zucchini.
He's definitely not in Texas.
Nah.
I would have
And
thought
this
Wyoming.
dish, it's so easy to make. It's
No,
So you know
no
how
hard.
all
One
those
time you
all
chop
those Italian
everything
cooking
you
out in
go
Wyoming.
easy.
I would have guessed New Jersey, New York,
Okay,
then
now-
possibly Florida. Those would have been my top
This
three.
is nice turn
Yeah.
everything. And now
Definitely.
it's time of the baby
You know,
bella,
going back
mushroom.
to electronic sports for a moment, you mentioned earlier, Asif, that
And we give a
the
nice
the
turn with
Overwatch
the
League
baby
teams in
bella,
Florida
mushroom.
and Texas
And now
had
the
been
peas.
0-7 this season, right?
This it's a fresh
Just
piece,
Houston
no
and
frozen.
Florida.
It's fresh.
Dallas actually made
Okay,
the stage
now
2 playoffs.
it's time asparagus.
The
Give it a
Dallas
little turn.
Fuel, which is a
So wait,
ridiculous
Texas gets 2
And now
teams?
ready
That's
for
so
the
weak.
carrots.
Yeah,
Already
Texas
smell
2
like
teams.
la primavera.
California
It smell
probably has-
really, really
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
we have
LA
the Los
has,
Angeles.
Now we
LA has
put the
2 teams.
Samarzano tomato, plum
Which is just
tomato.
ridiculous. You have 3 teams total.
Making sure
because
the
San
turn
Francisco
once in a
2
while.
LA teams.
This, okay, now we gotta put black pepper.
Have more people per square mile.
China has more teams than the Midwest
Yeah, I
does,
use-
so that's pretty
That
messed
makes
up.
I got a sea salt over here.
that makes some.
Just move the
China-
Dragons to Cleveland. The circle will be complete.
The Cleveland
We
Dragons.
give a nice turn, everything.
What if
now
Cleveland
the
just got
veg
an
they gotta
expansion
cook
team?
like a
What would
10
the expansion
to
team
15
be?
minutes.
We
They
should
don't
just
want
go
to
by the
cook it too
Browns.
much. 'Cause you want the vegetables
Just be the
to
Cleveland
nice
Browns.
and crunchy.
Or we could
The
be the
veg is
Steamland
almost
Cleavers,
ready,
like,
and we
like
cook the
my
pasta.
Mutant Football League team was
I
supposed to
put
be.
a salty
But we
already.
got hosed.
Okay, now when the pasta is done, the vegetable will be ready.
That's
to
messed
put
up,
together,
yo.
all
You
together.
paid money for that
We gotta
too.
put it together, the pasta, everything with the
Oh,
vegetable,
Beowulf
it will
Schaefer has a
mix it
legit hot recipe for me. Chile Verde, hello, nurse.
If any of you are planning to be in New Jersey on May 19th,
Okay,
Chef
now the
Pasquale
pasta
is
is
doing
done.
a meetup.
Turn the gas
Well, I
off.
wasn't, but
You
now
should
I'm like,
assign Donovan to go to that.
Here in front over here. My
is Jonathan in Jersey?
I don't
We
know.
need a little water.
I think he might be in Maryland.
Yeah, he's in Maryland.
That's basically New Jersey to me.
Okay, we give a nice.
Yeah, you can.
Look how
It's
beautiful.
all
look.
like tiny little states up there.
Oh, see the pasta?
Yeah.
You're not that small.
Whatever. I'm from California. They're tiny.
We pour some of the
Oh
water.
yeah, I forgot. Our vote doesn't count.
Yeah, I can drive 6.5 hours and not even be in Atlanta.
Water.
Yeah.
Like I said, make sure you keep a little
Same.
water. That's enough.
Yeah, but you're not in the same state.
Give a nice.
Whatever.
We leave it stay a little bit more.
Let's just try to make a point.
Like
I
this,
love
you drain
chefs that use pasta water. I just have to stop and say
Yeah,
that.
that's how you know this. He's legit.
That's like, that's legit.
That fucking flavor back in there. I don't know why.
Okay, now it's a time to
Oh.
taste my pasta.
There's that wine glass.
Give a nice.
Put some adult film music over that. Oh.
Yeah, put right over here on this.
Yeah, binging with Babish, according to Jester, or cooking with Babish?
I gotta use my little parsley.
Because I watched binging with Babish a little bit. Have you guys watched that at all?
Nope.
Or Asif?
Cheese.
He does a lot of
It's a little pecorino.
fantasy foods or like foods from TV shows and things like that. The only thing I don't like about it is he's always like, now originally they used this, but I decided to use this because blah 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 blah. I feel like that kind of kills the whole point.
It's really, really.
That it puts a little freshly ground Parmesan over the top of that. Oh, and he likes his cooking.
I want to say, with this dish, Primavera dish over here, I want to say David Barry, salud, e chin chin.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised neither of you guys have done the Babish.
I'm so sorry. Well, in honor of your, my bad. Go ahead.
Did Jake's sandwich from Adventure Time, and that was the one that really got me salivating.
I don't think I've ever seen that show.
You ever watched Adventure Time?
No.
Well, it's good. I like Adventure Time.
Well, I'll put it on the list.
You know, yeah, I mean, it's over. There's a couple hundred episodes, but the series ended last year.
Well, in honor of your new pressure cooker, I figured I'd post this next video. Backstory is I had my own recipe that I thought was the dankest, and then randomly I tried this one after seeing it on YouTube, and turns out these guys are right. So this is the one that I'll post. I just followed their instructions, and
hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and today it is so
They were
incredibly
right.
disgusting out. It's snowing, it's sleeting, it's raining here in Queens, but we're about to the gutter.
This
Guys,
Queens guy, I don't want to hear about his
is
life
here.
story. We have
We're
to
making
skip.
a pot
We're making pot roast.
right in the Instant Pot. Instant Pot Roast. Let's go.
I want to begin with 2 medium yellow onions, and then slice them up long
how
ways
does he
and then
wear?
into little wedges, so we kind of have a look like this going on. See, nice thick pieces. Let's set those aside. All right, guys. So a key ingredient to a pot roast is a great cut of meat, and a lot of
Yeah.
people like using chuck roast. I'm using a beef
Oh,
round
look
or a
at that.
rump
He
roast
snapped
for
his
this. I really
fingers,
like
and
this
all
for
of a
this. It's
sudden
nice
the
and
onions
marbled, as
are
you see. It's a great cut. A chuck
digging
roast
over
is good,
here.
and so is a beef round rump roast. And this is about 3 pounds worth. So you can go between 3 to 5 pounds. I feel like 3 pounds is the perfect amount, and it actually is going to make quite a lot. It will cook down, but guys, this thing's going to be super, super filling and just full of flavor. Okay, so now what we want to do with our rump roast is we want to season it. Rump. It sounds like a big old tushy, doesn't it? Anyway, what we want to do is we want to season it. And guys, there's going to be a lot of seasonings going on here to make this thing
So you've
so
tried this
fantastic
recipe,
in terms of
Chris?
flavor.
I've made
So,
this
what we
recipe
wanna
5
do
or
is we
6
wanna start
times, and
with
it
2
gets
teaspoons
better
of
each
black
time.
pepper,
Nice.
1.5 teaspoons
same
of
amount,
kosher
like you're
salt,
looking at a 3
1.5
pound roast.
teaspoons of seasoned salt.
That's right. I
I'm
do a
using
5-pounder though,
Lowry's, 1
because I'm a
teaspoon
real
of
man.
dried thyme, 1
Also, I
teaspoon
have
of
the
dried
gigantic ass
rosemary,
Instapot here.
1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a tablespoon
Is that
of
salt,
dried
pepper?
parsley flakes. And then just mix all
Correct.
that up together in our little
It's all
mixing
sorts
bowl
of shit.
here. And then pour it onto a plate because it's going to be easy this way
Alright.
to lay our meat on top of it and then make sure that we pat
Just
all
like
the sides
throw
of
the
it
spice
so it's nice
cabinet
and
in.
coated
Got
and
it.
seasoned. Now I want to take my beef and I want to now rub it in all the spices and make sure
All
we get
up.
it nice and good on both sides.
You got you the link in case you
So
need
we
it
get
there
all
into
of it pretty
the
much rubbed
stream
in.
chat.
Should be plenty to go around. You see that? This part's a little messy, but it's also a lot of fun. And by the way, if there's a lot of excess fat on the roast, which mine did not have, you can either keep it there or you can just trim it off. Keeping it there will make more flavor happen though. Get all the corners, get all the edges, and voila! There we have it, our seasoned, delicious rump roast, or chuck roast. Now I want to go to the Instant Pot, and I want to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin.
No, they want you to watch the videos.
So now I want to come down to the control panel and hit the saute function and adjust so I'm on the more or the high setting. On the Duo Plus, by the way, to adjust, you just hit the saute button until you hit the desired temperature. Whereas on the Duo series, you hit the adjust button. And let's give it some heat. And let's let the oil heat up between 2 to 3 minutes in the pot. And after about 3 minutes of the oil heating up in the pot, let's take our roast in there and we're going to sear each side.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave it on each side for about a minute. And after about a minute, let's flip it over to the other side. Let's sear that one. And smelling great. And after another minute of searing on the other side, we're going to now take it out. And then just transfer it back to a plate.
Fierce typing going on.
And we are looking good. And now let's focus our attention back on the pot. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of salted butter. And I'm going to quickly just mix that around in the pot so we can help deglaze all the spices that might be stuck on there.
Did he just pull that out of the Instant Pot?
Yeah, you just want to sear the outside for a minute on each side.
Wooden or plastic spoon.
Let's put a crust on the meat.
Not everything needs to come up, but the bottom of the pot should be fairly clean by now.
Plus, you want to burn in some of the crap from the seasoning into the bottom of the pot.
And we're going to stir that around.
And he deglazed them with the butter.
Let that cook for about 2 minutes. Now, as the onions cook, they're going to release some water because they're full of water, as most things are. Even humans are full of water. Did you know that? And so it's going to help deglaze the bottom of that pot. You see now we're looking pretty clear from where we were before. Perfect. We don't want it to be caked on with spices, so it's important that you constantly stir around that butter as it was melting, as well as the onions when you put them in for a moment.
You can
and you see,
hear
once
the
the onions have been
passion and
nice
the
and mixed
fervor.
around, all the remnants from the seasoning of the beef are all coated in the onion, as well as the olive oil and butter. So it's going to be phenomenal. So let's let this cook for
First
about
link in
2
the
to 3
videos.
minutes.
But you can make a pot roast.
What's going on
That's
here?
wonderful.
What was he doing
What's so wonderful?
That was the
versus
seasoning
brown
that came
and
off
onion.
of the meat when he was searing
A
it,
tablespoon of sliced
mixed
garlic
with butter.
and 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And now you can really deglaze the bottom of the pot. You see that? Nothing's sticking now. So we're going to let this cook for about another 2 minutes. So all in all, the onions about 2 to 3 minutes on their own. And then the garlic and the Worcestershire sauce, and then cook for another 2 minutes or so. Okay, now just before we're finished here, just make sure we scrape and deglaze the bottom of the pot so it's nice and clean on the bottom. We don't really want any spices stuck on during
The
this process.
deglazing part is
Okay, now it's
serious
time to
here
lay
because
the
on these
trivet into the
pots
pot
it
and
will
leave
cause the thing
handles
not to heat
And
up
let's put our roast
if
in
too
now
much
with
shit's
clean
caked on the
hands.
bottom.
Make sure the fatty side is up so the fat can drip through it. And of course, wash your hands after you've done that. Now I want to take 6 ounces of sliced portobello mushrooms and lay them on top of our roast. You can actually break them in half.
I don't
too,
understand.
If you want. Give you more
I
that
mean,
way.
I guess I
There
get
we
why
go.
you seared them in
Perfect.
there.
And now I'm adding in 2 cups of beef broth. As well as
So in
a
a pressure
cup of
cooker, you don't
good
have the
dry
normal
red
way that you
wine,
would get
like
the
a
meat
Pinot Noir or
seared up
something
over
of
a
that
long
nature.
cook, so you have to do it at a
use red
time.
cooking wine for this. Use a good red wine that you would drink. It's important for this. And now we want to put some potatoes and carrots in there, right? But we don't want
This
to
is-
put them
this is
directly
the-
in
this is the
pot
secret
because
right here.
It might turn to mush. So we're going to put them inside of
That
a foil wrapped
balsamic
bag.
vinegar?
that we're gonna
No,
securely
he
create.
dumped red wine in
I'm
there, but
taking
the real
about a
secret is
pound
the
of
following
baby
thing
white
where
potatoes.
his vegetables,
I'm just
he
gonna
wraps
wrap
them
it
in
up in this
tinfoil
foil.
before he puts them in. That way they get all the flavor and all the
potatoes.
cooking, but they don't turn
Then
into
I want to
mush.
take about 8 ounces of baby carrots, and then do the same thing. Wrap them
Oh,
up nice and
so he
good,
throws
in a
potatoes
little
in.
tin foil pouch
Yep.
that we created. So I have my baby white potatoes here, and then my baby
Yeah, I guess for
carrots
potatoes,
here.
that's
Lots
kind of an
babies.
important
And now in our
thing.
instant pot, we have
Carrots,
plenty
I
of room
kinda
to put
like
a
it.
foil wrapped
I like my
vegetable.
carrots
So I'm going to
mushy
put
in
my
this.
baby potatoes right over here.
But it'll still be
and my
mushy.
baby
It's like,
carrots
but in
right
Instant
here. Just
Pot,
make
when
them
you
fit, and
pressure
they should be
cook these
totally
things at
fine.
1100
And that's it,
degrees,
guys.
it'll
Now
turn
we're ready to
into
put the
like
lid on,
sludge.
top and cook.
Okay.
Secure my lid. Make sure I'm in sealing position.
Yeah, you gotta. I have
Okay,
yet to
and now that
pressure
we're ready to
cook
pressure
anything.
cook,
That's
let's
Yeah.
hit the cancel button and now hit pressure cook or the manual button if you're on one
It's all
of the
good to
older
know.
Duo series. And we want to go, guys, for 1 hour on this. You see that? On these pots, the Duo Plus, it'll say 1 and then 00, whereas on the Duo series, it'll say 60. The right side on the Duo Plus are minutes and the left side are hours. So 1 hour, okay? And be patient. It's going to take a little bit of time to come to pressure. So don't worry. And once the pin does
That's
pop
how
up
you
and it
use the
comes to
timer.
pressure, it's going to say on for about 5 more minutes before.
The
it
timer
begins
is the
counting down.
timer.
And while we're waiting for our pot roast to cook in the pot, and since I had to crack open a bottle of red to make this recipe, well, cheers. I'll be busy for the next hour.
You make yogurt?
And now that we're done, we're going to allow a 15-minute natural release.
Oh my
That
God.
means we're going to wait
I'm gonna
until
make
this reads
yogurt.
15 right over here. This is minutes, this is hours.
Make
the
my
Dual
own
Plus, by the
yogurt.
way. And once that reads 15, then we're going to quick release. So in other words, we do nothing for 15 minutes except drink more wine. And now that 15 minutes of a natural release have passed, we're going to finish it off with a quick release.
I feel like I'm actually learning
And
how
our
to
pin
cook
just
something
dropped, so let's
today
take our lid
that I might
off the
actually
pot.
cook.
And
How
let's
often
now
does that
carefully
happen?
just remove our vegetables from the pot.
Every
and
Monday.
Just set these aside for a few moments. Come right back to these.
Like I
there
used to
is our
make-
lovely pot roast inside
I used
of
to
our
make
pot.
I make a
Wow,
decent
look at
like
that.
pulled
Now look
pork.
how much more broth and sauce there is now.
And,
all right, so now let's remove our pot
like a
roast
slow
with the trivet.
cooker?
Nice and easy. See how handy this trivet comes in?
Wondering
And you
how
can
I'll
just
do
flip the pot roast
without
right
the
on the
pressure
trivet,
cooker, though.
so we have it right laying on top of our
Slightly
cutting board.
different.
Perfection. Okay, so let's let this cool for a few moments and move on to our next step. So now
But I
I'm going to
actually
come back
just
down to my
upgraded my
pot and hit the
kitchen.
cancel button here, and I'm going to hit the saute button again and adjust so we're on the more or the high setting, which it already is. I'm going to
That's
want to now
weird.
focus my attention on the sauce. I want to thicken it by creating a cornstarch slurry. So I'm
Court,
gonna
the
take
veggies
3
are in the
tablespoons of
tinfoil, yes.
cornstarch And combine it with 3 tablespoons of water.
Yeah.
And then just mix that up so it goes from like a cement-like
Chris
consistency
mentioned earlier, I guess
to a
that
nice,
keeps the
smooth
veggies
and creamy
from
consistency, just like
getting
that. And there's your cornstarch
so
slurry.
much
Amazing thickening agent for any sauce.
coming
And now
glue.
I'm opening up my potatoes, and look at that, perfect.
Do it
right
now.
to the touch, still
They
perfect
can-
texture. They're not mush. What I want to do is I want to add it to the pot, and I want to
Little,
add in
is
my
he making
carrots
gravy?
as well.
Is that what's going on?
Awesome. And now that we're bubbling,
He's
in the
making
pot,
a
what I wanna
cornstarch
do is I wanna
slurry
add in
to
my
thicken the
cornstarch
base.
slurry And immediately stir that around in the pot. It's gonna be a lot of sauce, guys. It's almost like a
And after
stew.
that heats for a little bit, it'll turn
I also
into
wanna
a
add in
beautiful
1 ounce
gravy.
packet of a gravy mix if you want to. It's optional. I'm
Nice.
using this au jus one because, well,
So
honestly, it was
then
on
he
sale
mushes-
and au jus. Why not? Again, it's optional because the sauce
Yeah,
already
no
has
mushing
plenty of
yet.
flavor, but I like to add it in as well. Give it a little bit more. And just give that all a nice good stir. And let
But yes,
everything
Bayo
bubble in the
mentioned those
pot for
potatoes and
about
carrots
a
will
minute.
cook in 1 or 2 minutes under pressure, but the meat takes an hour, so the tinfoil prevents it from
And let's let
just
the bubbles die down
being
a little bit.
pulverized.
And guys, just look at this beautiful sauce full of potatoes and mushrooms and carrots and just an amazingly rich, wonderful burgundy beef flavor. And you
It
see
seems
how
to be
it's thickened
taking a
up
awfully
perfectly.
long
It's not
time
too
for
thick, but
something
it's not
called
too
minced
thin.
pot.
It's like a wonderful glaze, and I can't wait to pour it all over our pot roast.
Well, I mean, normally a
Let's
pot
cut
roast
our
takes
pot
like
roast
7 or
up.
8 hours
All
to
right,
cook,
our
so
pot roast is going to be super tender, and it's going to want to break apart, which is totally normal as a pot roast should. So just take a good carving knife and cut against the grain and cut slices.
How long is this
See
taking him
this?
overall?
It's cutting
then?
nicely. I
it
have
was
a
1
good
hour
knife
in the Instapot
so
to
there you
finish
go.
the meat,
Some
and
pot
about
roast
another
over
5 to
here
10 minutes
against
to
the
dump that
grain.
other stuff
You
in
see
there.
that how it stays together? Perfect. And you can just cut it into pieces if you want. I like cutting my pot roast into pieces. And then as you cut the
put the
pot
meat
roast,
back
add
in
it to
there.
the sauce.
Yep.
Beautiful. So nice.
This guy cuts this into chunks. I
And you can slice
usually
it as thin or as thick
shred
really
mine.
as you'd
It's,
like.
you
I
do
like it
whatever
a
you
little
like.
bit thinner, but again, take each
You
slice
have, like,
here
those
and
Wolverine
just cut it
claws?
up into pieces.
No, I just use a fork.
Look at how beautiful.
Actually, normally when I make
Every
mine,
little last
it
piece of that
shreds
meat.
itself as I'm trying to pull it out with the trivet. It is incredibly
And let's add our final pieces of pot roast meat
tender. I
right
typically use a
to
chuck
our
roast. This guy
instant
used a
pot.
rump roast.
And now let's give everything a nice, good old-fashioned stir, and you're gonna see, guys. Look at
there
this.
a reason
It's
you
like
just prefer
everything
it?
you'd ever want in a pot
It's
roast.
easier to get
actually
here,
almost like a
and
pot
I like the
roast
extra
stew,
fat on
and
it for the
I'm
flavor.
really okay with that because this is going
The
to
rump
be
roast is a
insane.
very
Look at
lean
the
cut.
sauce. Look at how beautiful it is in terms of the glistening and the consistency and all this amazing
good
pot
stewing
roast
meat.
meat
That looks
with
delicious.
potatoes
Right.
and carrots and
This
giant
is-
And then
portobello
you have
mushrooms.
then
Look
you
at
have
that, giant portobello mushrooms. All right,
at
let's
least
cut
here
into
we
a
have the
serving dish
double
and serve
size
it up.
Instapot, so we
Right,
put
let's
double the
put
amount of
some pot
potatoes in
roast
there,
inside
and
of our serving
the ones that we
dish.
don't put back in the thing we take out and mash up and put garlic and butter and Parmesan into them, and when we serve this on top of the mashed
Of course,
potato.
let's make sure we get some of those carrots in there too.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's move to Nebraska.
Or you can
You know,
serve it on
feng shui's
top of
everything, so
white
I'll have
rice, I
another
guess,
potato
or
over here. This is gonna make a lot
brown
more
rice,
bread.
however you
So
like.
easily feed a family of 4 and maybe
good,
even
that's good.
6. And you see that? No mangled up veggies in this dish. Look at this. See the potatoes? Still nice and firm to the touch, but they're gonna be perfectly
over here
soft on the
emailing
inside.
and
Same with the
slapping
carrots.
messages
It's just the right consistency, but they're gonna be oh so soft.
Also, I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
use
guys,
red
let's
potatoes. I
try
can't
some of
remember.
this
Yeah, I use red
unbelievable
potatoes
pot roast
instead.
out immediately.
This is Mr.
Oh,
Sleepy?
Look at this mushroom.
This
Look
is
at
who,
this
where?
portobello mushroom. And look at this meat.
Isn't he
I can't
the
even- Let's go.
Instapot guy?
All right, guys.
I
Here
don't know.
comes the moment of truth.
No,
Now,
this is
let's just look at this meat.
This is
Right
just
now,
some
temperature
Goomba
is
from
just
Long Island.
shredding apart. Let's just
Oh,
look at that
okay.
first.
pressure, luck, cooking. Get it? Pressure. Instead of press
Sometimes it's hard to
your.
find the words, and sometimes it's only about an expression.
It's
I mean,
French.
It's almost like a stew. There's just so many amazing things going on in this right now. Oh boy, this is incredible. Richard's trying to come in here. He's like a dog in the hallway looking to pick up the scraps off the floor. Don't worry, you can have your own bowl. There's plenty to go around.
Yeah, you can tell him and his roommate take showers together. I would too if someone cooked me that kind of pot roast.
He probably just has everyone come over and scrub him.
Yeah, like if you got that friend that's going to be cooking that serious meal every night, you got to do whatever you can to stay in their good graces.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. I shot my load on that one for the night, guys.
I think that's fair.
Plus, we have to save some Italian Man for next week because, this show keeps coming.
Are we running out of Italian Man?
No, but we might by the end of the year if we keep doing 7 of them a week. It's also getting close to that time here on the East Coast.
Where it's nap time?
Well, no, pizza was brought in about an hour and a half ago, and it's been just staring at me here through the door.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, go eat.
Yes, but is there anything else we need to touch on before we wrap up the WWES for May 6th? Any last shout-outs, any plugs, any call-outs, any grievances?
No, more than usual.
I have grievances about continuing to cover Overwatch League.
There's nothing you can do to avoid that except get it canceled.
I hear I'm going to be in Stage 3 Overwatch next time.
No.
Well,
you want us to knit you a quilt?
And yeah, shout out to Riot, the employees for doing that.
Yeah, good luck to them.
I hope their management hears them.
It would be a nice thing.
Well, guys, I guess this may be time to circle the wagons and get ready to head home. We looked at Rocket League today. We looked at Overwatch League. Yuck. We also did CSGO and their unruly fans. We looked at Smash a good bit, and we saw a PUBG proposal. We also went to Italian Town, and also we learned how to make that Parmesan salmon and shrimp dish, which was lovely. Thank you for that one. We also saw the limits of a golf ball, and then a little bit of an Instant Pot at the end. So, that said, this has been the wide world of esports. For Asif Blake, I'm fake replacement Blake, and I'd like to wish you guys a happy Monday night. And go have something good to eat. Hopefully we made you hungry and feel better about yourself than you did before you got here.
Yay.
All right. Yeah. Have a great night.